All right, guys, let's get right to it. Yo, this is Seth from S.E.T Media, guys, and I'm back with another one for you guys. All right, we got a nice little lined up. We got Trump talking business and a whole lot more. Let's get right into it, guys, and let's not forget to double tap that screen and like the video. Let's go.
I want to just thank you very much, everybody. I want to just thank you for being with us, and I assume the press is ready. We have a Pulitzer Prize-winning photographer. Unfortunately, he gets it for a shot at the ear. Someday you'll get it for something nice. You'll get it for something nice, Doug. Well, I want to just thank everybody. It's been a very special trip. And I can tell you that our country is hot. It's hot as a pistol. I don't think it's never been so hot. And if you go back 6 months, it was the exact opposite. We had a man that couldn't even stand up. He was so terrible. It's so terrible what he's done to our country, but we've turned it around so quickly. I did not expect to turn it around this quickly. I think we're the hottest country of the world right now. And 6 months ago, they were laughing at the United States, but they don't laugh anymore. This has been an amazing trip. And as you know, I'm going to UAE in a little while. We're going to first watch an air show that will be spectacular from our friend, the Emir. He's done a great job, And I've met such great people. And as you know, that we're trying to give Yemen a chance. And we're going to give
Syria too. I mean, they're trying to give Syria and Yemen a chance, open them back up. So now that the sanctions are, well, I believe the sanctions are officially lifted off Syria. So hopefully that brings benefit to them. And now Trump is trying to meet with their, well, I guess the new guy in charge, pretty much. Yeah, the new guy in charge since Assad left. So hey, I guess we're taking a step in the right direction. Instead of being over there being offended about, oh, well, he took over by power, just be like, all right, look, let's just try to work with this guy. Let's try to get him on our side. Because the last guy was on Russia's side, and we don't want that.
Syria a chance. With Yemen, they have a tremendous Houthi problem. I believe that's a problem for them. You know, you never really know. It's a tricky part of the world. But we were asked to stop firing at the Houthis. And that's something that they've never asked because they're tough and they're good fighters and all, but they're not going to be blowing ships out of the water anymore. So that's what we wanted. And we'll see how that works. But their emissaries were very, very strong on it. So that's a good thing for Yemen because they're trying to help themselves also. And we want them to get along with Saudi Arabia because that's been a big fight. And the other, of course, is Syria. We took out the sanctions, and I didn't even realize it's been many, many years that they've had sanctions. And as you know, there was a very big change at the top. And I thought that we have to give them a chance. They really have no chance with the sanctions. They were very biting. They were top of the line. Nobody could even deal with them. You couldn't even.
I'm like, yeah, the last Syrian leader was, well, for Russia. I think the man left to Russia. So, yeah, it is probably best that we get this guy in our back pocket for China or Russia does.
You couldn't make a phone call to Syria. So we did that. And I met the new leader of the country. And he's got a strong past. That would be very nice. He got a strong past, but I liked him a lot. I think he'll be a great representative. And we'll see. You're going to have a strong past to put that one around. You cannot be a weak person. If you're a weak person, we would just be wasting time. So he's a strong guy, and I thought he was good. And let's see what happens. But we're going to give him a fighting chance by taking off the sanctions. So we've actually been praised for that. The Crown Prince of Saudi Arabia was very strong. Please do that. He wanted it done. President of Turkey wanted it done. President Erdogan called me, said, is there any way you could do that? Because if you don't do that, they don't have a chance. And so I did it. And it's actually been.
I would tell people, these people do stick together on more than just, well, the whole, hatred of Israel. Like I said, they have a whole Muslim Brotherhood thing going. Like, it's kind of crazy how, it's not crazy at all, but it's pretty understandable that other Muslim countries would want to see another Muslim country do well. And so, since they're trying to work with the U.S., they're like, come on, man, include Syria and Yemen. I know they had their problems, but they're working out now.
Very popular. The Emir liked it a lot. It's been very, very popular. So let's see what happens. But it's my honor to have done it. And with that, we're surrounded by some of the greatest business people in the world. We just had a tremendous order of Boeing. This is Boeing, and this is General Electric. And General Electric, I hear, makes the best large airplane engine in the world by not even a contest. Maybe I'll have to change my engines one day on my plane because they're not General Electric. But, it's one of those things. But I hear you make the best engines in the world, Larry. Larry's somehow his people at General Electric. First of all, it's one of the greatest turnarounds that you'll ever see in a company because when you took it over, it was, I want to be respectful. General Electric was in trouble, to put it, I would say, right? To put it mildly. And now it's a hot company doing great. And it's, I would imagine the hottest thing is what's happened with the engine division because this engine is incredible. Would you like to say a couple of words, Larry, about that? Because he watches, when he sees Boeing, he's very excited because he supplies, I guess, for the most part, the engines. Would you like to say something?
Sure. Well, Mr. President, thank you. And it's an honor to be here. We're thrilled about the commitment that Qatar Airways has made to both Boeing and GE Aerospace with the largest wide body order really in our company's history. Over 400 engines, both our GE NX, which powers the 787, the fastest selling.
Yeah, that is one way these Qatar and Saudi has benefited us is heavy orders and heavy investments. By heavy orders, I mean the amount of engines they'll need to fulfill the Qataris' orders is astounding. The amount of planes that these guys ordered, I mean, shoot, it's a large price indeed. And due to that, it creates a lot of jobs here in the USA. So, I mean, I would like the Qataris to stop trying to influence our universities, but I'm cool with this. This is cool. This is cool.
High thrust engine in history, and our new 9X will power the 777X, which will be the largest commercial engine in the world.
Will that be the same engine other than size, or is it different?
It's a step forward and a generation forward as well.
So even beyond,
yes,
the large one.
Very much
That's
so.
Great.
And we think that really helps both Boeing and GE Aerospace continue to support not only our investment in domestic manufacturing, but in turn, everything that we're doing to drive the $75 billion annual trade surplus that the aerospace industry enjoys in the U.S. today. So we're excited. I know Kelly and the Boeing team have been great partners, but Badr, our thanks to you for your trust and your commitment to both GE Aerospace and Boeing. We're gratified.
Yeah, thank you very much. Kelly, go ahead, please.
Well, Mr. President, first of all, thank you for your support. It's a major order for us. All of these aircraft will be built in the United States, creating significant number of jobs. And I know that's a key mission of yours.
I'm like, yeah, from manufacturing to overall building, engineering, like from low-level jobs to high-skill jobs. Yeah, from low skill to high skill, everybody's gonna get a job just off this alone. And I mean, surprise, surprise, like I said, we do manufacture and weld our own plane parts here in America.
And this order will help us accomplish that. Partnership with GE has been great. They do power exclusively our engines, and they're doing a great job here. And we're very pleased to be selected by Qatar for this largest wide body aircraft order in the history of Boeing. Major accomplishment for us, and thanks to the administration for your support.
That's the largest order you've ever had, right?
Yeah, for wide body.
So one of the largest orders in history, but it almost has to be, if it's the largest order you've had, has to be pretty close to the largest order ever made, right?
Yeah, that's correct.
And you also
Hey guys, let's make sure we double tap the screen and like the video. Let's get more people in on the conversation. Appreciate the support, guys.
Boeing also got the jet fighter. We selected Boeing for the jet fighter, the state-of-the-art, highest level. It's an amazing looking plane. If it functions as well as it looks, I think we're gonna have a big winner. But we're also looking at some additional jet fighters. We have some really good ones that we have. We're taking a look at, strong look from one of your competitors, I must say, and we're doing something very special. But it's a special country. We were losing the Middle East because the past administration didn't handle the relationship properly, didn't show the kind of respect that they deserve.
I know they try to turn the Middle East woke, and these are the least woke people ever. I mean, when you try to include in, oh, why don't your women have rights? Because bro, they're a different culture. Oh, well, why don't you guys accept gays and LGBTQ? Is like, because it's a different culture. And because they didn't do that, we made it hard for them to do business with us. It's kind of crazy. But I mean, it is what it is. At least we got new leadership today who don't do that and who accept other people's culture.
And me, I have a lot of respect and I have a lot of liking. I like the Crown Prince a lot. I've known him a long time in Saudi Arabia, and the Emir is fantastic. And we're going to another country in a little while, UAE, a fantastic man, fantastic leader. And they have great leadership talents in this part of the world. And that's why they're doing so well. And you probably read today the story about Iran has sort of agreed to the terms. They're not going to make, I call it in a friendly way, nuclear dust. We're not going to be making any nuclear dust in Iran. And we've been strong. I want them to succeed. I want them to end up being a great country, frankly, but they can't have a nuclear weapon. That's the only thing. It's very simple. It's not like I have to give you 30 pages worth of details. There's only one sentence. They can't have a nuclear weapon. And I think we're getting close to maybe doing a deal without having to do this. There's two steps.
Well, at least they're allowed to have a nuclear program. I thought it was a while when a lot of people, I mean, I'm talking about the neocons, were saying, no, they can't even have a nuclear program. I'm like, they're only at 60%. They're 90% of the way. Now, although I agree, still, we at least got to let them have their nuclear power. Now, we just can't tell them, oh, well, you can't have nuclear power either. We can stop them at a bomb, but nuclear power is going a bit far. And I'm glad they're at least able to concede on the whole, making a bomb part. But making them give up nuclear power is a bit ridiculous.
A very, very nice step. And there's a violent step, the violence like people haven't seen before. And I hope we're not going to have to do this. I don't want to do the second step. Some people do. Many people do. I don't want to do that step. So we'll see what happens. But we're in very serious negotiations with Iran for long-term peace. And if we do that, it'll be fantastic. And for this country in particular, because you're right next door, you're a stone's throw away, not even, right? You're a foot away. You can walk right into Iran. Other countries are much further away, so probably it's not quite the same level of danger. But we are going to protect this country. It's a very special place with a special royal family. And the head of the royal family is two heads of the royal family, really, if you think. Great people. And they're going to be protected by the United States of America. And I think we're not going to have to do it because I believe very strongly in peace through strength. Now, we just gave out in the budget a $1 trillion budget, which is the biggest we've ever done. $1 trillion, never came close to a number like that. We'd be at 800 billion, would be at maybe 900, 910. We never got anywhere close to $1 trillion, but we're doing it. Hopefully, we will not have to use these weapons. We make the greatest weapons in the world. We make the greatest fighter jets. We make the greatest, I guess Larry would know better than anybody, but we make the greatest planes.
Yeah, I'm okay with having the strongest military. I'm okay with USA having the strongest military in the world and never having to use it. Just have it just for the security of it, just for the hell of it. Yeah, I'm okay with that. What they say, peace through strength. I like it.
In the world, the greatest missiles and defense systems. The Patriot system is the best acknowledged to be. I mean, this isn't from me. And we have a lot of it now. It's under order. And we're coming up with new systems. And we're coming up with a new system of drones. Because drones are really, if you look at the war that's going on, it's horrible. But we are watching it very closely. And drones really seem to be taking over that war. And so I hope you're going to come up with some nice, inexpensive engine for a drone.
I mean, yeah. Apparently, the Ukrainians are heavily using drones. I mean, they even got these fiber optic wire drones. So it's pretty much not a wireless drone. It's just a drone with the longest wire in history.
So that we don't have to spend so much. I asked one of the companies, I said, I want a lot of drones.
Fiber line.
And, in the case of Iran, they make a good drone. And they make them for $35,000, $40,000. So I said to this company, I want to see it. They came in 2 weeks later with a drone that cost 41 million. I said, that's not what I'm talking about, 41 million. I'm talking about something for $35,000, $40,000 where you send thousands of them up. And that's a great way. And they're very good too, and fast and deadly. Horrible, actually. When you look at what's happening with Russia and Ukraine, the drone is killing tremendous numbers of people. You hide behind a tree and the drone comes down and it circles you with fire. You don't have a chance. The tree comes down also, by the way. It's so intense. I mean, you see these trees being knocked down like they're being sawed down by a top of the line timberman, like
Damn.
you know who? Sean Duffy. Do you know that Sean Duffy, the head of the transportation department, who's working right now on the airports and getting a system because Biden didn't do a thing?
I mean, damn, what type of guns they putting on these damn drones? They said, look, man, the gun's so strong it'll saw down a tree. I'm just thinking, like, bruh, you ain't hiding from that. And then they got kamikaze drones that run into you on purpose and blow up. All types of drones, man. It's a drone warfare out here.
Thing.
Well, at least in Ukraine.
For 4 years, and Pete Buttigieg was the head, and he goes bicycling to work. He takes a bicycle to work. Can you believe he's running the biggest air system in the world, and he takes a bicycle to work? And they say he's going to run for president. I don't see it. Who knows, right? But I don't see it. But when I look at what they've done, is so horrible what they've done. And the work they did do, they wasted billions of dollars. They tried to hook up air systems to copper, and they tried to hook up copper to glass, and the glass doesn't work with the copper. And they had 30,000 different contractors doing 30,000 jobs. And when they put it all together, they spent billions of dollars. It didn't even come close to working. And we're going to be giving out a brand new system. It's very important. We'll have the best system, and we think we know who that system is, but we have a lot of bidding, but we want one check. We want a unified system. We don't want to have 5,000 contractors in all different places, some digging ditches and some not doing ditches because they want to go by satellite. Satellite seems to be the way to go. But so we're going to be giving that out pretty soon. But what people don't know about Sean, because I mentioned lumberjacks, that Sean, you probably didn't know this. That I'm not talking about this Sean. This Sean, no, not this is not. This is a different Sean. Sean Duffy, the head of transportation. He's a great Sean, though, I have to tell you. But Sean Duffy was the world champion for 5 years, climbing trees and down, up and down, world champion. So that's what you call a serious lumberjack. And he's doing a fantastic job too. A really respected guy and a terrific guy. And I mentioned the champion because when somebody's a champion, he's the world champion for a long time. He came down, when you come down those trees, coming down at a rapid, he said that started getting you back. You will often break your back. You miss a shot and you're coming down a lot faster than the human body was meant to come down. But he's doing a fantastic job at transportation. But this has been a very historic trip. I watched.
And let's make sure we like the video, guys, by double tapping that screen or hitting the 3 dots up there to like and subscribe to the channel, guys. Appreciate the support. Let's keep it going.
Some of the people talking about it, and even what I would perceive as enemies of ours, people that are not fair from the press, are saying it's been amazing. We've raised trillions of dollars in investments. There's never been anything like it.
I mean, we raised billions of dollars just in one trip. Just in one trip to the Middle East, we done raised over $1 trillion. And then we already got like pretty much $8 trillion already dedicated in investments through tariffs and before the tariffs. Like before the tariffs were even unleashed, there was already companies walking up to Trump saying, yes, we're going to invest billions. So here's the thing, though. You can't say this man's plan didn't work. It worked. And you guys are upset about it. The tariffs worked. Bro, at this point, his whole plan with the Middle East is gonna work. I mean, the border, his plan at the border, it worked. Hey, I'm surprised. I'm surprised with the whole Middle East thing. Things just seem to be working out for this man. Believe it or not, even if you want to sit there and be mad about it, you guys can't even be mad about the market no more.
And just to finish, we have a country that now has, I think, Howard, we can say that at least $10 trillion of investment and potential investment. And if the past administration did $500 billion. It was like a lot, but we did it in 2 months because it's actually a little more than 3 months. But I always say the first month I had to get a little bit acclimated. So I didn't really do this the first, but when we started, so we've really been doing it, Susie, right, for 2 months. So in 2 months, we're going to have over $10 trillion. Nobody's ever come, no country's ever come close to that. No country. And I want to thank the Emir because he put up a lot. And in terms of investment, it could amount to 2 million, 3 million, maybe even 4 million jobs in the United States. And more importantly, it's really important stuff. It's tremendous refining capabilities. It's capabilities for very high end. AI is a big subject, and it's a big subject over here too. I always say, what are you investing in? It seems one thing everybody seems to have in common is AI. So I don't know if that's a good thing or bad. Maybe you shouldn't do it because too many people are doing it, or maybe you should follow the crowd, fellas. Okay, so you're going to figure it out. We have a man who's here who has been unbelievable, Scott Bessent, who's our Secretary of the Treasury, and who's so respected when he speaks on television. It's like everyone just says, oh, okay.
I mean, the man, he's like the man of the hour. And the reason why is because everybody's, well, depending on Trump to make the economy better. And he hired Scott Bessent, well, to run the trade deals, to handle the treasury, all this stuff. So as for now, or I'm saying was for the first part of Trump's presidency, Scott Bessent is like the MVP. He's like his top player right now.
I had somebody the other day said, well, Scott Bessent said, I said, well, that's pretty good, Scott. You know? So I'm a believer. I'm a believer. But when he speaks, the markets really listen. And the big thing is that we have, to me, the most important.
I mean, you're talking about the man that worked with George Soros to pretty much bet against the pound. No way, it was the euro. They bet against the euro and won and left with millions upon billions of dollars. Yeah, we're talking about that Scott Bessent, and we're talking about that George Soros, the evil bastard.
Thing of all is that forget about the recent stock market being so good. Much more importantly, we have hundreds of different big companies pouring into America now, creating jobs like we've never seen before. Now, the bad news, it takes a little while for that to, when you build your factory and it takes a year and a half, 2 years, and they're going to build them very fast, and they don't need financing. That's the nice part. They don't need any financing. They have plenty of it. But they're building factories at levels we've never.
And shout out to my man Luke. Appreciate you for starting us off. He said Trump has an inflated ego. Who cares? He also has the instinct of a murder detective and balls of steel. Oh God, though, man. I mean, you gotta give it to the man. The man literally going against the Zionists in the party, in his own cabinet, bro. Pretty much push Israel to the side. This is the first time a president's really done that. He hit the pharmaceutical mafia with a gut punch, took away their ability to overprice us. Bro, this man is working miracles out here. I don't know how he's doing it. I don't know even how the man's alive still. Bro, pray for Trump. Because the way this man's moving, I'm surprised they're not trying to do him like Kennedy. Because he's hitting way too many like powerful people. Way too many. And he don't care. And he's keep doing it. I like it. I like it.
Never seen anything like it. And these are, 10 billion, 12 billion, 50 billion. I said, how do you spend 50 billion on a factory? We have the chip companies coming in from Taiwan. We have Jensen, as you know, coming in with 600 billion. We have actually the biggest company of them all. You know all about it. Coming in. That was a big Mr. Wei. I said, Mr. Wei, you're a smart man, aren't you? I never met him. And I said, because I understand you control 99% of the chips. Oh, yes, I do. I said, that's pretty good. I said, is there any way of breaking that grip? They said it would take you many years. So I said, you know what? If you can't beat him, you join him. But he's going to be building the biggest factory anywhere in the world in Arizona and spending over $200 billion. And we have Apple, as you know, is coming in. And I had a little problem with Tim Cook yesterday. I said to him, Tim, you're my friend. I treated you very good. You're coming in with $500 billion, but now I hear you're building all over India. I don't want you building in India. You can build in India if you want to take care of India. because India is one of the highest tariff nations in the world. It's very hard to sell into India. And they've offered us a deal where basically they're willing to literally charge us no tariff. So we go from the highest tariff, you couldn't do business in India.
Yeah, India's tariffs, I mean, on everybody was 70%. That was crazy. I was like, yo, if you're selling into India, India's making money off you. So yeah, and that means anybody in India wasn't too keen on buying anything else unless it was made in India. So shout out India for protecting their domestic economy, because you did it well. And you made deflation work out for you.
We're not even a top 30 in India because the tariff is so high, to a point where they have actually told us, I assume you too, Scott, you were working on that also, that there will be no tariff.
But I do like how he did just threaten Apple, because yes, that is true. Apple has shut down, well, damn near all of their production in China and is moving it to India. So when I told you that China is losing this trade war, trust me, I mean, damage already been done. The damage is so bad, it's almost irreversible in China due to this, well, trade war. So it's not even worth doing production in China anymore. And it's sad because now all those jobs are going to leave China and go right into India. But guess what? Trump don't want that to happen for Apple, but Dell and Walmart is doing it. So who knows how this will work out? Who knows what Tim Cook will do? But all I know is that, well, if Apple want to still be the highest selling phone in America, it'd probably best they wise up, because, you know, Samsung, LG phones, they're kind of catching up there now. People are discovering better options.
Right? Would you say that's a difference? They're the highest, and now they're saying no tariff. But I said to Tim, Tim, look, we've treated you really good. We put up with all the plants that you built in China for years. Now you got to build us. We're not interested in you building in India. India can take care of themselves. They're doing very well. We want you to build here, and they're going to be upping their production in the United States. Apple. So Apple's already in for 500 billion, but they're going to be upping their production. So it'll be great. So I really think we've gone from a laughing stock 6 months ago to the hottest country anywhere in the world. And that's not just in business, that's in everything else. And it's psychologically hot too. And I just want to thank everybody for being here. I want to thank the media. The media, I have to say, has been very fair. They've been very fair. They've been terrific, actually. I was watching some of our, normally they would not say good things, but they're having a hard time saying bad, because this is a record tour. There's never been a tour that will raise, it could be a total of $3.5–4 trillion. This just in this 4 or 5 days. And it's from great people. And our relationship now is very strong with Saudi Arabia. Nobody's going to be bothering that relationship. Nobody would be able to break that relationship because of my relationship with the Crown Prince and the family. The relationship is really strong. And when you talk about Qatar, the relationship is equal. I mean, it's just like nobody's going to break that relationship. We have never had a relationship with Qatar as strong as it is now. You know that better than anybody. And they're very happy, and we're going to protect you. We're going to protect you. That's the one thing you need, maybe, but I don't think you're going to need too much of that. And I said last night,
now I could tell you why people are kind of upset with our, honestly, Qatar has been in it for a while. I mean, we've been having a positive trade surplus with them for like 20 plus years. They've invested billions into our universities for whatever reason and into the economy. But like I said, I would like to stop the influence, and hopefully it's just about the money, which I'm pretty sure it is. Because why not? Qatar, actually, it's in their best interest to have, good relationship with the USA. I mean, as well as the rest of the Middle East. They kind of see where we're going and they want to go with us, especially when it comes to AI and seeing that they're like an energy hub.
A great meeting, great everything. They brought in Lee Greenwood to sing. It was a beautiful evening, and I appreciate it. But I said last night that Iran is very lucky to have the Emir, because he's actually fighting for them. He doesn't want us to do a vicious blow to Iran. He says, you can make a deal, you can make a deal. He's really fighting, and I really mean this. I think that Iran should say a big thank you to the Emir, because the Emir is fighting very much that we don't. And there are many people that want me to go the other route. They say just knock it out, because nobody can beat us. No, we have the strongest military in the world by far. Not China, not Russia, not anybody. We have the best military equipment in the world, and we have the strongest military in the world. If you remember ISIS, General Raisin Kane, right? We knocked it out in 3 weeks. Remember, they said it would take 4 years to knock out ISIS. We did it in 3 weeks. That's because you had the right leader. With a stupid person, you'll do it in 4 or 5 years. You won't even do it. You'll fight for 4 years and then you'll leave. Like we always do. You fight. We had a president that blew up half the Middle East and then he left. That was,
Yeah. And that's what we like to, honestly, that's what we're like happy about. We're happy that president is taking a new angle on this, because like many presidents before this man have just went right into wars, Biden included, sadly. I mean, him getting into the whole Ukraine and proxying it. Yeah. George Bush. I mean, do I need to say Obama? Well, let's just say Obama did a lot of bombing, right? And let's just say he did a lot of pillaging of certain nations to get our oil prices so low. So this is like the first time a president is actually pulling up to the Middle East and not trying to, sap the people of their resources or tell them what to do with their government. I mean, first time.
It's like,
so since the first approach was something new, we're getting a whole new people now. Now they want to work with us. Now they want to be kumbaya. I mean, all it took was just coming to them in good faith.
Spent $10 trillion on blowing up the Middle East, and then he left. Just said, let's leave now. We're left with nothing. And we don't do that. We take care of our friends. And so you have a great ally in us, and there's nobody even close. In terms of military power, there's nobody close. And I'm not only talking about nuclear. I don't like to mention the word because the nuclear is so destructive.
Oh, and shout out to my man Hellbat. He says, need Nokia phones back. # make phones indestructible. Again, oh God, make phones indestructible would be nice. But I can't go back. We can't go back.
It brings you into a different category. But we're number one in nuclear. I rebuilt our military, by the way, in my first term. We had a really successful first term. Then the election was rigged, and I had to wait, and it became more historic. And I was able to watch and see. And the good news is although it's bad news in another way, but the good news is that Biden was so bad, worst president we've ever had by far. There was never a president like this. This man was grossly incompetent, and now that's been proven. But people were...
Yeah, it has been proven by his own people. Shout out Jake Tapper. Like, man, the same guy telling us you guys are ageist. No, Biden is doing well. What you mean? He has way more energy than any old guy I ever seen. And now the same guy who's telling you the lies is writing a book about the truth. Man, these Democrats
were able to see how bad it is. And it gave me a mandate. We won all 7 swing states. We won the popular vote by a lot. We won the counties by 2,725 to 505. That's why the map is completely red. When you look at it, the map, it was an obliteration, this election. And we got 312 electoral votes. So it was just an obliteration. And that means mandate. And we have a mandate that nobody's had. They said the most consequential election, and this was a enemy paper, the most consequential election in 129 years. So it's been a tremendous trip. I've really liked it. This is going, we're going 20 hours a day.
Yeah, and he pulls off $1.2 trillion. $96 billion in the, Boeing / GE deal that he was talking about earlier. Yeah, largest aviation order ever. I mean, yeah, 96 billion. Man, you gotta love it. 8.5 billion in McDermott Energy deal, and 97 billion in Parsons infrastructure project, and 1 billion in quantum computing investment, all in America.
And people say, how do you do it? And I said, I do it because I like it. I like it. I like the people I'm dealing with. I said last night, I stood on the line for, it seemed like hours. I said hello to Larry. I said hello to Kelly. I said hello to your 250 competitors. I said,
And shout out to my man Luke. He says, did everyone see how Trump was a complete gentleman to the crown prince? Dems, take notes. Decorum is the opposite of what you do. Can't bully adults that pay their own bills. I mean, facts. And exactly, I don't know why everybody's making this like, first off, the actual crown prince or the king came to see this man. The royal usually they send the envoy to go bring the president or whoever's visiting to them. They rolled out the purple carpet, which is supposed to be the best of the best for them, which means you are an esteemed guest. They really want you here. And the actual royalty came to meet this man. They don't usually do that. They rolled out the red carpet for this man. They treated him with the utmost respect. And I like it. I like it. That's what you better do. You better treat my president with respect.
hello to everybody. And that was a long sucker, I want to tell you. They say, how do you do it? I said, I do it because I like the man standing on my left. And I said it 2 nights before about the crown prince, but last night I had the emir, and he's fantastic. And I said, it's really not hard. You know, when you like the people and when you are doing something, we have a term, MAGA, Make America Great Again, very simple term. And I remember Biden saying, we will not let MAGA take over this country. I said, no, you stupid person. It says, make America great again. It's okay if it takes over the country. It's called Make America Great Again. And that's where we are right now. It's America. We'll put America first.
Like dang, Biden, you don't want greatness to take over the country? Like, what's wrong with you guys, man? Don't you want greatness to take over the country? What's wrong with that? Like, make America great again. You damn should love it.
But because we're putting it first, we're doing so well, there's going to be plenty left over to help the world. And we can help the world psychologically. So we think we're going to do well with Russia, Ukraine. 5,000 soldiers are being killed every single week on average. 5,000. And they're not from here, and they're not from the USA. They're from Ukraine and Russia. So some people would say, why are you bothering? Because these are 5,000 young people. Well, they're getting older because they've gone through so many that they are actually getting older. But these are 5,000 people that leave their home, wave goodbye to their parents. Their parents are so proud of them, their sisters, their brothers, and that's the last they ever see them. They're wiped out. And if you would see the satellite pictures, I get satellite pictures of that battlefield, and I want to tell you, I've never seen anything like that. I wish I never saw it. You have heads and arms and legs strewn all over the field. And you just take a look at that. And you know.
I mean, yeah, shit, actually. I remember I was looking at the war footage, and I was seeing that too. And I mean, damn, it kind of looked like Gaza, to be honest with you. It was like body parts everywhere. I mean, you see the blown up buildings, and you see like a couple body parts that got blown outside the buildings. I mean, it's crazy out there in Ukraine, and it's even worse in Gaza. Like, trust me. I mean, like, you know, the military footage is what we're getting, but in Gaza, we're getting like footage from the people, and it's like way more graphic, I'll tell you. But I'm pretty sure it's also just as graphic in Ukraine. Like I said, hey man, they got these Ukrainian army guys out here kidnapping women and raping them in schools. And emptied out schools. So yeah, war is always a gruesome thing, huh?
You know, when you think 5,000 a week on average, and that's actually a low number. So we're going to see if we can end that. I was thinking about going, but it's very tough because of what we're doing today and tomorrow. But you know, if something happened, I'd go on Friday if it was appropriate. But we have people right now negotiating, and I think that I just hope that Russia and Ukraine are able to do something because it has to stop. Not only the money, we spent $350 billion there, just handed. Nobody even knows where the money, they just send them a check. There's no accounting, there's no one, just give him money. Every time he came, I have to hand it to him. I think he's the greatest salesman maybe in history. Every time he came to the United States, he'd walk away with $100 billion, you know. That's a good salesman, right? Even by your standards, this is a big standard right here. But that's a pretty good set. No, he'd walk in, leave with $100 billion. Last time he didn't do as well.
He didn't even have to try. All Zelensky walked in. He just walked into the White House like this. Putin bad. Okay. Here, 200 billion. We got you, man. We got you. Just every time you come and ask for money, just say Putin bad, and that's the code word. We'll just wire billions to your account, Zelensky. You don't even got to explain nothing. You don't got to tell us what's going on in the war. You don't got to tell us how you're using it. Just say Putin bad, and we got you.
We only got 60 billion.
Like don't worry, Zelensky. As long as you say Putin bad, money will come your way. And that's exactly how the Biden administration was treating that man.
It was so easy. It was like taking candy from a baby. That was the last administration. This administration has been a little bit tougher, but would like to see it end. And I think we're going to have a chance at doing it. And would like to see if we could solve the Iran problem in an intelligent way as opposed to a brutal way. There's only two, intelligent and brutal. Those are the two alternatives. So I want to thank everybody for being here.
Yes, if you make the nuclear deal or, which I hope don't happen, which I pray don't happen, we bomb the shit out of you. But I'm pretty sure they'll just work a deal out. Since the other Muslim countries is playing nice with us, I think Iran's going to come around and be like, all right, they cool now. They're not trying to overhear topple regimes and all that good stuff. All right, we can work with them. Oh, hold on. They're not overly working with Israel no more. Okay, yeah, we can work with them.
Very much, and we're going to take some questions, and perhaps now we'll ask the press to leave, and we're going to see you at the airfield. We're going to have...
Hey, shout out Luke. He says, I got a joke. He said, what's the difference between a homeless man and a Democrat? Dems do say thanks when they get a free handout. I'm crying. All right. That was... Damn. Well, damn. That was actually a pretty good one.
A display of American equipment. Okay, yeah.
Well,
Jennifer, go ahead.
It's funny and factual. It is funny and factual. All right, now let's get to my man Trump talking to the military.
So I'm thrilled to be here with the men and women who embody American strength and pride, the warriors of the United States Armed Forces. It's an amazing group of people. You are, without a doubt, the greatest fighting force in the history of the world. That's the way it is. I said it last night. I said it strong. We have the strongest military in the world. There's not even a contest. We have the best equipment. Nobody has equipment like us. Nobody has the planes or the missiles or anything else. And as your commander-in-chief, I'm here to say that America's military will soon be bigger, better, stronger, and more powerful than ever before. We just did a budget. The budget was the highest by far, over $1 trillion. That's a lot. That's a lot of stuff. And hopefully it's peace through strength. Hopefully we don't have to use it because if you use it, I feel sorry for the other guy, but we don't want to have to use it. I want to recognize a true warrior, and that's our Secretary of Defense. They put him through hell, the radical left did. And he's incredible. You know, he went to the best schools. He did the best stuff. He's a smart guy and he's a great guy. And I just listened to his words standing backstage when he was speaking, and he really has it right on the peg. Pete Hegseth, he's going to be great. You're going to love this guy. You're going to love him.
I mean, shout out Pete Hegseth, Harvard graduate, ripped up his Harvard degree because he's done with the leftist BS. Military man, vet, all that good stuff. So yeah, shout out Hegseth. And he held it down. Now, I do want to get to this quick little, we'll get right back to our man Trump, but I do want to get over to Shapiro's thoughts on this whole, deal with Qatar, because I heard he wasn't too happy.
I ask about the reception on the streets of Doha and Riyadh because I wonder about the everyman. But what really matters is how this affects the everyman, the middle America, the streets of the U.S. You're watching now as President Trump has just ended his state dinner in Qatar. They're coming out of that. You can see President Trump will make sure we tune in here if he stops in front of the cameras and answers any questions. He has been presented, by the way, with a FIFA soccer ball after that state dinner representing the FIFA World Cup.
Hey, and shout out Steph. She says, you tired of winning yet, Set? And Democrats, you done crying yet? Man, look, these guys prove me right every single day. Every single day, Steph. Every single day. I mean, you should almost check the comments, man. These guys just can't stand it. They just can't stand the winning, and they can't stand also being wrong. But, I mean, trust me, they'll fight to the end. Which is damn near commendable. Damn near. If this wasn't so crazy.
Moving from Qatar next to North America. But to the people of America, why does this matter? let's dig a little deeper here into some of the issues when it comes to making deals in Qatar. I got to thinking, and many people have said to me, hey, have you ever looked into what the influence and investment is of Qatar here at home in the United States? So let's head over to the wall and see if we can put some information, some visuals, and some context behind maybe this business and the influence of, in particular, the Qataris. We took a look over the last couple of years what it looks like. Investments from Qatar right now stand at about $94 billion. That's broken up in business investments, energy and export facilities, weapons purchases, one of the largest air bases for the United States overseas. And this is important. $6.3 billion for colleges.
I mean, yeah, they're letting us put an air base in Qatar. I mean, I don't know if I'm really too worried about these guys anymore. I'm literally, it's like, bro, they're letting us build an air base there. They gave us a plane for free. And then they're going to let us build an air base there. And they're paying for it. Bruh. I mean, talk about great gestures. I mean, I'm feeling them at this point. I like them. Like I said, you need to stop with the investing in our universities and pushing whatever Islamic ideology you're trying to get off with Qatar. But as far as, giving us the gift, letting us bear an air base in your facility, I'm rocking with it.
And universities.
We can keep a watchful eye on you guys. Keep a nice little watchful eye. And shout out to my man Fox Chase. He says, "Set for shits and giggles. Poll. Who would vote for a third term for Trump? Why not? And why not? I got you.
$224 million lobbying and public relations. Now, this money has fluctuated over time. It's gone down a little bit over recent years, but you can see here Qatari influence, money paid to U.S. lobbyists and public relations firms over the years, peaking in 2021 and 2020 at around $52 million. It's come down over the last couple of years. The reason this matters, and the reason we look into this, is what is the influence of foreign governments, and in this case, particularly Qatar, on what happens here at home in America. But I did want context. I wanted to think about what does it look like when you factor in other countries. So here's what it looks like, foreign investment in the United States. We should say this is very hard to track. Fox Tracking has done its best, but it's really hard to nail down how much is going into universities, how much is going to politicians. UAE, $1 trillion. Saudi Arabia, $490 billion. Qatar, $93.7 billion. Israel, $24 billion. A lot of talk about the Chinese. They influenced and invested in America a lot through the 2010s. It's gone down. It's just about $7 billion for the Chinese. So all of this is...
Dang. They're supposed to be our greatest ally. Foreign investment? So thanks to, the UAE, I mean, shout out to Saudi Arabia. They pretty much invested $1 trillion. They done topped it. So pretty much these guys came through and said, what's your highest investment? America said, probably like Qatar. They said, we got you $1 trillion. Here you go. And then we got the other guys at the bottom coming in with a nice little, what was it? $490 billion. Woo. And then we got Qatar, and then Israel, and then China. And these are all of our biggest foreign investors. And of course, China would be the smallest. I mean, Israel can only do so much. But Qatar, Saudi Arabia, and the UAE, yeah, they got money.
$0.7 billion. Israel, $24 billion. A lot of talk about the Chinese. They influenced and invested in America a lot through the 2010s. It's gone down. It's just about $7 billion for the Chinese. So all of this is important. These business deals being made with the Qataris, with Saudi Arabia. It does promise perhaps a brighter future with countries in the Gulf. But should we be concerned? Should we be paying attention to what it also means for influence at home right here in America? Let's discuss this with the host of the Ben Shapiro Show. Ben Shapiro joins me now. Ben, it's always great to see you. Thanks for being here. I want to start with the celebratory moment of this. This is politics not as usual. This is different. What President Trump is doing is something we didn't see, obviously, from President Biden, but you could date this back decades, treating these relationships as business interests.
That's exactly right. President Trump believes that commerce comes first when it comes to our dealings with a lot of these nations. And as he said in Saudi Arabia, American interests come first. So all of the broad statements about democracy and human rights that Democrats like to speak about, Joe Biden and Barack Obama used to say this sort of stuff about, for example, Saudi Arabia. President Trump said, listen, all that stuff matters, but from the American perspective, what matters the most is how does this stuff affect America? And when it comes to Saudi Arabia or even Qatar, the amount of money that is spent in America, the number of jobs created by that sort of investment, that, of course, is a very big deal. And I think that when it comes to the Middle East more generally, what President Trump would like is a situation that is more stable in the Middle East, a situation in which there are burgeoning alliances based on commerce. He said in Saudi Arabia, he's looking for a regional reorganization that is based on commerce, not chaos.
I mean, it's better to get investments from the Middle East than, spending money on war in the Middle East. I'll just say that right there. It's way better that we're actually out here getting investments from these guys with all this oil money instead of going to war with the guys with all the oil money and putting sanctions on them and then telling them how they should live and what they should accept. Yeah, I like this approach. It is a more peaceful approach, and honestly, it's honestly way more respectful towards their culture.
Chaos. And so he's giving all sorts of goodies to the Saudis who are investing a lot in the United States, for example. But he's also suggesting that the Saudis should join the Abraham Accords, or Syria should join the Abraham Accords. Now, all of that is part of his broader reorganization of the Middle East in a new way.
We're watching on our screens as President Trump signs various documents here with the royalty in Qatar. I want to stick with what's happening with the Gulf states here for just a moment. Let's come back to America, Ben. This promise.
Oh, shout out to my man Luke. He says, haha, I won't mess this one up. What's the difference between Democrats and a homeless man? 10 years. Oh shit. Oh shit. Oh, shit. Oh, shit. God damn. Like, bro. I don't know, Luke. That might have been a little bit too real for him. That's a little too real.
Promises. It could be a reimagining, as you mentioned, of tomorrow, where they place, as he said yesterday, commerce ahead of chaos and tech ahead of terrorism. Do you think this does represent a Saudi Arabia, a UAE, maybe even a Qatar, who is a true partner to the United States in our global interests and promises to benefit? Again, what I think matters here is the average American citizen, whether or not that's jobs and investment, but a true reorganization of our relationship with this part of the world.
So first of all, I think to treat each one of these countries as exactly the same would be a mistake. The Saudi national interest is very different than the Qatari national interest. In fact, Saudi and Qatar almost went to war in 2017 because Saudi believes that Qatar is a state sponsor of terrorism, which Qatar actually is. Qatar plays both sides of the table pretty openly. Qatar, obviously.
But then again, though, I mean, here's the thing. People say, oh, well, Qatar play both sides. And then I'm just like, hold on now. That's why they play both sides. But don't they need to, since we kind of use them for peace negotiations when it comes to these Middle Eastern countries? So isn't it isn't it kind of weird to say, oh, you're playing both sides? I mean, they're the ones who host the whole peace talks with Hamas and Israel. They're the ones who do it. Then you're talking about, oh, they house Hamas. I mean, how y'all gonna have the peace talks?
Host an amazingly important American airbase, which I think, frankly, we should shift to Saudi Arabia or UAE, because Qatar also has open dealings with the Muslim Brotherhood. They're the number one funders in the Middle East of Hamas. They've spent almost $2 billion funding Hamas. They have relationships with the Taliban. They have very solid relationship with the government of Iran. The Al Thani family in Qatar has expended extraordinary amounts of money in the United States. To understand the graphics that you were showing a little bit earlier, Will, one of the things to understand is that the entire citizenry of Qatar is 2.6 million people. Okay, so when you are comparing the spending of China, over 1 billion people, with the spending of Qatar, 2.6 million people, you have to ask yourself, why is Qatar spending that amount of money on, say, American universities? And if what they're doing in American universities is subsidizing the kind of radicalism that we've seen at American universities, wouldn't that also be their purpose when they are giving gifts to the Department of Defense or to the Trump Presidential Library, or when they are spending an enormous amount of money on a bunch of business dealings that are meant to infiltrate the United States? Qatar, I think, is not to be trusted in the same way as, for example, the Saudi royal family.
Well, that is my last question for you, Ben. I think it's all.
I mean, and here's the thing now. Like I said, the reason why they don't trust Qatar is because Qatar is friendly towards Hamas, and they were the ones pretty much hosting the peace talks with Hamas and all that good stuff. Honestly, with all the Muslim countries, yeah, Qatar is kind of the one where they settle down and work their stuff out. And then, I mean, during the recent years, Qatar has gotten pretty cool with the Middle East. The Middle East used to hate these guys, to be quite honest, because, like I said, the money, the influence, and what they do with the universities. I mean, they do it in other countries too, but they definitely had a hard focus on here for a while. And they're pretty much saying that Qatar is the reason why we have these, radical groups in our universities. And I can believe that. I'll believe it. But here's the thing, though. I mean, like I said, Qatar only does this as their way of spreading their influence, which I do not agree with at all. But I'm just telling you why they're doing this. They're doing this because they're trying to create a pro-Hamas sentiment. They're trying to get people to, get down with the Palestinian plight in the most extreme way ever, like I said, which I don't agree with.
Always the question we have to remind ourselves when we are talking to an American audience, but not just that, when we're talking about an ideology, what has taken precedence, which has reached the apex here in America, which is serving America first, American politicians serving America first. And I do wonder, while we celebrate this new partnership, all of this, perhaps reimagining of what's happening in the Middle East, is there a price? And I think there are critical questions to ask and be careful about here. As we put up on the board here, that's a lot of investment.
What's so funny, though? I can imagine Trump saying, you guys sponsor terrorists, and they're going to hit us with, well, you guys sponsor Israel. Well, all right, how about we just call it even, my friend?
Focused on the Qataris here. There's a lot of countries up on that board, from China to UAE, other countries who have invested a lot in America. And the question is, what are they looking to get out of that beyond economics?
I think that's right. When you're looking at lobbying, that, for example, is a different thing than investment by firms that are located in these various countries. If you're looking at Qatar, Qatar is just the royal family. I mean, the only big moneymakers in Qatar are the royal family. The same thing essentially holds true in Saudi Arabia. These are not countries that are having free-flowing, free enterprise in their own countries, and you have sort of private enterprises investing in the United States. You essentially have royal family backing sovereign wealth funds that are directly investing. And so that's a level of direct control that doesn't apply to some of the other countries that you've talked about.
Right. And obviously, I think for the average American, you need to understand the role that all of these countries play in lobbying and American politicians, but notably the soft power they're playing in funding American universities. That's how it comes back home, all of this complicated relationship. All right, Ben's going to stick around with us. Hey,
hold on.
And then there's Bruce Springsteen.
Whoa. Something just came through here. Yeah, Trump's DOJ fight to, reel in the judicial power at the Supreme Court. Okay, hold on here. Hold on.
We begin with right now a case before the U.S. Supreme Court that has huge implications for President Trump's power and that of presidents to come. The justices are hearing arguments at the moment in a lawsuit challenging Trump's executive order to end birthright citizenship. That order applies to children who were born in the United States to illegal immigrant parents. The larger issue at
so yes, they're debating birthright citizenship in the Supreme Court, pretty much. Like I said, when the Dems like to say, well, it says persons, they forget to read the rest of it and be like, well, it does say jurisdiction thereof. So when you talk about jurisdiction thereof, well, their parents is not the jurisdiction thereof. That's the problem. And then it even goes down to the whole about due process and all that good stuff. When jurisdiction thereof kind of aligns with that too. But the Supreme Court is going to have their decision. Like I said, the argument they're hinging on is, actually, they'll show you.
Hand is whether federal judges have unrestrained power to issue nationwide blocks on presidential actions, something that is happening against President Trump right now. I'm Harris Faulkner. You are in the Faulkner Focus. The president posted ahead of the arguments today. Big case today in the Supreme Court. Birthright citizenship was not meant for people taking vacations to become permanent citizens of the United States of America and bringing their families with them all the time, laughing at the quote unquote suckers that we are. Here are some of those arguments from just moments ago.
So he's pretty much trying to end the whole thing of, look, if both your parents are illegal citizens, that kid you had here is not a U.S. citizen. He's trying to end that. That's what he's trying to end. He's saying too much people is taking advantage of it, and his DOJ is making their case to the Supreme Court, pretty much going like, well, yeah, the forefathers never intended this. Like, I'm pretty sure they never intended people to be able to just come over here, have a baby, and then boom, the baby's automatically American, and the kids can just anchor to that baby here. No. I mean, that's like a loophole that I believe the Dems are letting these illegals use, or these non-citizens use, and it's not right. But hopefully, the Supreme Court rules in Trump's favor.
And you are claiming that not just the Supreme Court, that both the Supreme Court and no lower court can stop an executive from universally from violating those holdings by this court.
We are not claiming that because we're conceding that there could be in an appropriate case.
Only a
Rule
class,
23.
only
Can
by
I
a
hear
class.
can I hear the rest of his answer?
Well, testy there. The court's decision could decide the fate of many of the president's executive orders and actions now. Federal judges have hit the president's agenda with 17 nationwide injunctions in fewer than 5 months. That's far more than any other recent presidents at this point. Former federal prosecutor Trey Gowdy.
Actually, that is wrong. Actually, that is absolutely wrong, Aaron. That is not the same law that gives me citizenship. Yeah. My mom is a naturalized citizen. Yes, naturalized citizen. Dad was over here on his green card. So both of them was allowed to be here in the U.S. legally, and then boom, Pop comes out set in Nashville, Tennessee, 1995. So no, completely different rules. My parents followed the rules to get in here. They just didn't illegally jump in here and then try to have a baby. They followed the rules. They went through the process, the vetting. They came into the country, got a job, made sure they kept their nose clean, and then boom. No, don't ever disrespect me like that again, G. No.
Your view,
honestly, is basically disrespecting my parents in the entire process that they went through to become citizens. You know, unlike how you guys champion these guys who are pretty much subverting that entire process and pretty much cheating it, and how, you know, how some of the people that, you know, are here today and some of our parents actually took the long process. And we're talking about decades ago this happened. So yeah, don't get it twisted.
of nationwide injunctions should not ebb and flow with who is in the White House. We need one standard. It literally makes no sense that one judge who can win with 50 votes and the vice president should be able to thwart or undo an executive agenda.
Justice correspondent David Spunt is outside the U.S. Supreme Court. David.
Hi, Harris. A lot of back and forth going on in the court right now. Arguments going on for about an hour. We expect them.
Like I said, you guys are. No, I'm gonna be nice. You guys are being very disingenuous with your argument. Now, you know, they're talking about illegals who cross over here, didn't even get naturalized, didn't even get a green card, have no reason being here. They're not supposed to be here, and they have a kid, anchor babies. That's what they're coming after. You know that, right? So no, it's not through the same process. Like I said, you guys sound stupid when you guys make that argument, especially to American citizens with immigrant parents or parents who came from another country. Yeah, it's a very idiotic argument. I'm be quite honest with you.
Definitely at least another hour. Always hard to cut those sound bites for TV because they are so thoughtful with the back and the forth on any case, but especially this case. Listen, as you've been mentioning to the viewers, on paper, this case is about birthright citizenship, but the forefront of the argument is about these nationwide injunctions or nationwide pause.
And all right, Luke, I'm gonna read your super chat. I'm gonna explain this one more time to these dumbasses in the chat, okay? Now, I'm going to go through over this again. My parents came here the legal way. The legal way. Actually, they've been in the legal way. They kept their nose clean, no crimes, no nothing. And then they had me. Like, bro, went through the entire process that you're supposed to go through to get into this country legally, became naturalized citizens legally. Everything was done legally. So when you try to compare me, you're kind of disrespecting my parents because they followed the law. They went through the process. They waited. You disrespect my parents by pretty much saying they're the same as these people who broke the law and just came in here and just had their kid. Like I said, that's your last warning.
Let's take a live look outside the Supreme Court now, where people have been protesting the president's executive order retooling or ending birthright citizenship as it's stated in the 14th Amendment. But this is talking about those temporary orders where a judge, Harris, let's say in Portland, Maine, can issue a policy that affects someone living in Portland, Oregon.
And my bad, bro. My bad, Luke. He's saying, now I know why the Dems lost their mind over Trump's 3 Supreme Court picks. Because they settle constitutional ignorant debates. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. Because they settle constitutionally ignorant debates. Yep, pretty much. I mean, the fact that we got to sit here and talk about birthright citizenship is absolutely wild to me. I'm like, why would y'all want this to be okay? Why is this okay to y'all? So you're pretty much saying it's okay for people to just subvert the system when there's people who actually went through the system, became naturalized citizens. Why can't they do it the legal way? Why are you guys giving these guys an opportunity, an excuse to do it the illegal way and still get a benefit? Now there's no benefit. Now we're either sending you home with your kid or your kids stay here. Now it's over. Now we're turning it back on them.
The DOJ says judges are increasingly abusing power by being able to do so. Critics are arguing the judiciary is a third co-equal branch of government, and judges have every right to issue a nationwide injunction. Right now, judges in Massachusetts, Maryland, and Washington State have put a pause on this birthright citizenship executive order, one the president signed on his first day in office. Critics say the president, without Congress, cannot simply just change the 14th Amendment to the Constitution, which states all persons born or naturalized in the United States.
Yep, all person naturalized in the United States and the subject of the jurisdiction thereof are citizens of the United States and the states with where they reside. Huh. I mean, it seems pretty straightforward, but it's crazy how these guys mix this up. Like all persons born or naturalized in the United States are subject to the jurisdiction thereof. Huh. Born and naturalized. Man, ain't that crazy? But here's the thing, though, and this is what you guys confused about. Like I said, my parents and these illegals and their anchor babies, naturalized.
And subject to the jurisdiction thereof are citizens of the United States and of the state wherein they reside. The DOJ looking at that and subject to the jurisdiction whereof. They are hanging their hat on that point. As far as when we could get some sort of decision from the justices, we expect something in the next few weeks, unlike the end of June, because this is an application to the court. But the bottom line, whatever the justices decide, as you'll talk about with your next guest, it's going to have effects on basically all of President Trump's executive orders that are tied up.
Basically, they're arguing to be able to scam the system or pretty much scam our immigration laws. Or just use or misinterpret the 14th and the 5th Amendment to apply to, well, non-citizens. Yeah, that's what they're pretty much doing here
in the courts. And if it's a victory for him, it may push those executive orders across the finish line in many cases. Harris?
Well, the stakes are high. David Spunt.
And guys, the argument isn't, well, are anchor babies legal or not? Or should they continue to be legal? That's what they're arguing. And it's on a pretty good premise, because I'm like, yeah, why are we just letting people who aren't supposed to be in the country having kids and they just stay here? It's like, no, that's not how this is supposed to work.
Thank you very much for watching it closely. We may come back if the news warrants. A couple of pieces now breaking down the critical case. The Wall Street Journal editorial board writes, when a legal split gets serious, the high court accepts a case to put things back on the.
Hey, and shout out to my man Vlad Steen. He says, these people don't realize that they are the literal definition of being a tool. They are holding up signs and protesting without fully knowing for what exactly. I know, yeah, they're out there, don't even know what they're honestly asking for. It's like, do y'all understand what you're asking for? You're literally asking for, well, we want illegals to be able to come over here and have kids and their kids just stay here. Like, are you serious? Like, when you guys actually like play out what you guys are saying, it sounds ridiculous, right? Like, you guys just say it and then don't even think it through. Like, all right, well, you want to put those words to actions so you can see how stupid you sound?
The level. That's the theory anyway. What happens in practice, at least lately, is that the political faction out of power challenges the government's every move in a friendly legal venue. The worry about completely ruling out universal injunctions is whether that would enable abuses of executive power. All of that a quote. Axios puts it this way. There's a good faith, non-ideological argument that courts are handing down too many injunctions. There are more than 600 district court judges in the U.S. When all of them have the power to freeze a presidential policy, lawsuits can grind the presidency to a halt.
Yep, and that was a pretty damn good point. They're like, yeah, when there's over 600 of y'all, it gotta to hold up the president. Yes, it has to be an exclusive. It has to be exclusively only the Supreme Court, guys. Not all of you can do it. There's just too much of you, or the president wouldn't get anything done. And here's the thing: some of y'all wouldn't be doing. Some of y'all only doing this because it's Trump. So there's an even bigger reason why we can't just let you guys do this, or we should make it like they should pretty much stomp this in the butt. Because, yeah, it's out of hand, and it shouldn't, like, bro, A national injunction should not be handed down by a district judge. No. Supreme Court, I mean, sure, but district judge, no.
More easily than ever.
Shoot, maybe even the AG, maybe even the AG, but the district judge is crazy.
Before. Well, no doubt that's what Democrats would love at this point. Jonathan Turley, Fox News contributor and George Washington University law professor. So, Jonathan, let's just start before we get too big umbrella with this. Let's start with President Trump and what the road ahead could look like.
Well, this is key to his ability to carry out the promises he made during his campaign. These suits are well coordinated. The whole point here is that if you can keep all these policies in court, it won't be until 3 years into his term that he could ever hope to actually carry out some of these policies. He'd have probably less than a year to make any type of inroads. And the biggest problem facing him and his predecessors, because both Democratic and Republican presidents have objected, is that you basically have to run the table. You have to win potentially, 677 to 0, because any district court judge could stop you with a national or universal injunction.
I mean, and that's crazy. It's like, bruh, there's just too much of y'all. And some of these guys are Biden appointed judges. So, and it's mostly the Biden appointed judges that are doing this. So there is some type of like vitriol for this man Trump when it comes to the courts. But, seeing that this man Biden went and spent the whole time pretty much harassing the courts to get this done, well, at least he got what he wanted. And that's all the Dems honestly got left. The Dems, all they have is the judicial branch. If they lose that, it's a wrap for them. They will completely lose power. And that's what's about to happen, honestly. The way some of these are leftist Supreme Court judges are ruling, yeah, trust me, they're going to get their self booted. And then there's one who pretty much played conservative just to get on there and now is voting leftist. And I know we kind of sold ourselves with that one because I heard there were pretty much warnings down the pipeline about her. But shout out to my man Fox Chase. He's like, if you libs cry about what he's doing now, you got a long 4 to 8 years. Oh, man. Yeah, you sure do. Good luck, guys. Good luck. Keep your head on, though.
And even Justice Kagan during the Biden administration objected to that and said that in that case, conservative groups are forum shopping and are basically handcuffing the administration and that's crazy.
But isn't that, in short, pushing against a public who elected a president based on the promises to turn very specific issues around?
Yeah, but they want to stop it because it's not their guy. Because it's not their guy, they want to go ahead and hold Trump up on everything he's doing. Like I said, if it was Biden or Kamala doing this, they would just step aside. They wouldn't care. La-di-da-di-da.
And if you get too heavy-handed with the injunctions, like in this case, none other that we've ever seen at this point in his presidency, the high number of them, aren't you trying to negate isn't that like post-election interference, if that could even be a thing? It seems like it thwarts the voters.
Well, that's an argument being made by many critics, but inside the court, the Solicitor General is saying today that you can get a national or universal injunction, just not this way. That is, if you have a class, a group of people that are across the country that are being mistreated, you can file what's called a class action under a rule called Rule 23. And the Trump administration is saying, we're not objecting to that. We're not objecting that if you've got a national class, you can get a national order. What we're objecting to is when, small numbers of parties go into a favored district in California or New York and then bind the entire country, and most importantly, the entire executive branch.
So at the end of the day, however this goes, either the executive branch gets the power in this case, or the judiciary branch gets the power. It seems like it's that simplistic. Maybe not.
Well, you see that tension in the argument today. Yeah. This has been a pretty hot argument.
Guys, let's make sure we double tap that screen and like the video. Guys, let's get more people in on the conversation. Let's push the video. Appreciate the support, guys. Like I said, let's double tap that screen.
Justice Roberts doesn't ordinarily talk over Justice Sotomayor and said, will you please let us hear his answer? Mm-hmm. And by the way, Justice Sotomayor didn't yield. She continued to talk. She was right out of the gates very early. And clearly that was not going over well with
And shout out to my man Vladstein. He says, vid in general chat in Discord. Please, I got you. I got you, big dog. And shout out to my man Green Bean. He says, you wonder why they're trying to impeach Trump again. Yeah, I know, right? I mean, man, look, these Dems are hilarious. I was listening to the Supreme Court thing, and I might have to do a whole separate video on listening to the Supreme Court. There's no video, it's all audio. And, well, I mean, Trump's lawyer kind of sounds like RFK Jr. in a way. It's kind of funny. I almost thought it was him.
Some of the justices who wanted to hear what the Solicitor General has to say, but Justice Sotomayor was very, very active. The interesting thing so far is Justice Kagan, because she sort of painted herself in a corner in her interview at Northwestern Law School when, during the Biden administration, she said, these injunctions really are crazy. Today, she was suggesting, well, if we think this order is clearly unconstitutional, does that change the dynamic for us? So it seemed like she was trying to reframe it a bit in terms of how they would approach this.
All right. The judge is at the heart of this, too, but in a different way. Protests outside a Milwaukee, Wisconsin courtroom this morning. A county judge there has now become the defendant. And some of the crowd that you see there is upset over the judge's arrest. Others are protesting the actions of federal immigrants.
Dugan? Oh, yeah, I think they're talking about Dugan. Yeah, the one that was trying to sneak the illegal out the back. Yeah, that lady. But all right, though, let's get back to Trump. Yeah, hopefully she gets that 7 years.
And I also want to influence you to clap for a man who's a great influencer. In fact, my son, Barron, said, Dad, you got to do an interview with somebody I hadn't heard of. But my son knew very well. He knows everyone. He said, Dad, this is before the election. You know, we won in a landslide, in case you hadn't known. But he said, Dad, you got to do an interview with a guy named Theo Vaughn. I said, who the hell is Theo Vaughn? He said, Dad, he's such a big guy. You got to do an interview. So he knew all the names. I didn't know the names. And where is Theo? He's around here someplace, I think. Theo, thank you very much.
Man, Theo Vaughn there? What the hell are you doing?
That's Barron. You know Barron. He said, you got to do with that. We had a good time, right? Had a good time. We had like 270 million people that listened. So you know what? I think Barron was right. Thank you for being here, Theo. Appreciate it.
I mean, yeah, Trump did hit all the top podcasts, to top it off with Joe Rogan. He was on PBD. I mean, bro, he went to all the top podcasts and he did his thing. So you got to give him that. Problem with Kamala is that, well, she can never do that. That was the problem with Kamala. She could never do a Joe Rogan because Jamie would literally be her worst enemy. And, well, I mean, shoot, she could never do a Theo Vaughn because she would just sound too cringy.
Also, Lee Greenwood, right from the beginning, that song went on. And, that song was a successful song, but we made it the most, number one. We made that song, it's the top of the list of that type of song. That's a pretty big, I don't want to go into the list because you'll get upset with me if I do. Like the national anthem and things. It's like, and it became unbelievable. And I was saying you could get Elvis or anybody else to do a song. There's nothing. That was my intro song right from the beginning, because as you know, we won 3 elections, okay? And some people want us to do a 4th. I don't know. We'll have to think about that. You saw the new hat. The hottest hat is, it says Trump 2028. We're driving the left crazy when you see that. We didn't need that hat, but it's been an amazing period of time. And when Lee Greenwood did that song, it went from the first day. I came out and played it. It was a great song, but we didn't know. And then I did it a second time, a third time. And that was 968 rallies ago. Can you believe that? We did 968 rallies. There's another hat says 968. I said, what the hell does that mean? That's the number of rallies. I said, you have to be kidding. But from the very beginning, and we played Lee's song, and it was the walk-on. And then for the last inauguration, I had all the big singers, they wanted to do a song for me, and they wanted to have me walk onto their song. And my people, oh, that would be nice. That would be nice. And when I heard about it, we were all set. We had a lot of them. And I heard about it. I said, I'm not switching. Are you kidding me? I'm not switching. So we stick with Lee. But there's nobody could have done better than Lee. And he's been so loyal and so great. And it's been really about 9 years of that stuff. And, we had really, honestly, we had 3 unbelievable campaigns. And it's been an honor. And there's nobody been stronger than the military in terms of backing us, nobody. So I just want to thank you all very much. Great honor. Thank you very much. And also with us today is really a great talent and somebody who's one of the most popular television hosts in history. Still looks young to me, but he's been doing it a long time. But he's an incredible man. He's always seems to take my side, and therefore I like him even more. But he has common sense. We talk about common sense all the time, but he's one of the biggest in the history of television, the great Sean Hannity. He's here someplace. Sean, stand up wherever you are. Thank you, Sean. Thank you. Where is he? Thank you, Sean. Thank you, Sean. He was a little shy for a change. I've never seen that. We're also grateful to have a very excellent ambassador, Timmy Davis. Everybody loves him. Timmy, thank you very much. Thank you, Timmy. Along with your great military leaders, these are real leaders. These are real tough cookies. Lieutenant General Derek Trapper France, Major General David Shoemaker, Brigadier General Richard Deuce Dickens, Chief Master Sergeants Chris Murphy and Joshua Wiener, and Colonel Brian Ellis. We want to thank you, amazing people. They're real leaders, and this is one of the great bases anywhere in the world, and we're lucky to have them. Thank you very much, fellas.
Shout out to the military.
And a very special thanks as well to our partners from the Qatar Army and Armed Forces. Let's give them a really special hand. They are so great. They are so great. And in particular, we want to give a little special applause for somebody that's been so good. Deputy Prime Minister and Defense Minister, Saud. Where are you, Saud? Thank you very much. Great. Thank you.
Actually, speaking of, top Saudi officials. Now, I do want to get into this interview that Brett Barr had with top Saudi official, talks relation with U.S. leaders. I mean, shout out. It's kind of funny. Like Trump is kind of giving all the Fox News, pretty much all the good interviews at this point. Or maybe they're the ones who's actually asking these Saudi guys to sit down and have an interview. But hey, let's hear them out. CNN did.
What do you see 10, 20, 30 years for Saudi Arabia?
I will give you an example. If you look to late 70s, Saudi Arabia GDP is bigger than South Korea. And now South Korea, I think it's the 10th or 11th largest GDP in the world. So we believe if Saudi Arabia and really the perfect track, since that time, we will be among the top 7 GDP globally. I'm trying to get Saudi Arabia back on the right track.
And that was the Crown Prince. Joining us now, the Minister of Economy and Planning, Minister Faisal Ali Ibrahim. Mr. Minister, thanks for being here. This trip is about getting Saudi on the right track. You are doing these big deals with the U.S. The president characterizes it as $1 trillion worth of investment. How do you all see it here?
So, as you know, Brett, and it's a great pleasure, of course, to be here with you again. As you know, the kingdom is, embarked upon a journey to unlock its potential with Vision 2030. So many elements help the kingdom become prominent in terms of economic power. Mainly that has been coming from oil, but today it is a story about the power of diversification. New sectors that are related to tourism, culture, entertainment, and sports has resulted in a lot of growth and economic drivers, growth engines that didn't exist before. Everything from AI to technology to investments, accessing the great capital markets of the US and the great opportunities in the US to much more. We would love to be competitive in a large and vibrant market, consumer market such as that in the US.
For people,
I ain't gonna lie though, these Saudi officials, these Saudi royalties, they have great teachers. Cause every time I hear one of them speak English, I am overly impressed. I'm like, bro, your English is so damn clear. It's clearer than most Americans. Huh.
And a large and vibrant market, consumer market such as that in the US.
For people who haven't been here, this place has evolved dramatically. I mean, just in the 3 years since I've been here the last time, the percentage of GDP, non-oil percentage, has surpassed 50%.
Absolutely.
That's significant.
For the first time.
For an oil country, that's a big deal.
Yes. And of course, we're not over celebrating that, but we're acknowledging this as a milestone. What we want to see is more non-oil exports growing, more non-oil exports as a percentage of our manufacturing GDP. We want to see user experience in the services side, especially on the tourism side, second to none.
Hey, and shout out to my man Lou coming in with another joke. He says, joke number 3. What do you get when you cross a D-list actor, a habitual gambler, and a repeat offender? A beautiful, successful Democrat. Hey, yo, this man coming out with the heat right now. I'm not even gonna lie. Hey, but hey, I appreciate the joke, and that was funny. Come on, guys. That was funny. Or you get Hunter Biden.
Still have a lot of work to do.
So when I talked to you back,
actually, you can also get Zelensky as well. You know, Zelensky did used to be an actor.
On my last trip, here's what you said.
Vision 2030 is about unlocking potential. It's designed to address our long-term economic challenges and risks through 3 things: diversifying the economy, empowering the youth of the kingdom, and building institutions that can help carry this beyond 2030. This is only an asset that we need to leverage. And it's about connecting energy, connecting data, connecting goods and services, connecting people, all for the betterment of the world at large.
To that goal, how important was this trip?
Today we saw from both speeches, from His Royal Highness Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman and from President Donald Trump, that there's a lot of common values or a lot of common approaches to addressing global challenges. We heard both leaders talk about peace and prosperity. We heard both leaders talk about dialogue, and we've seen what dialogue has led to in terms of the US and UK deal, US and China deal, and what the Saudi has led also through dialogue in the region to bring more stability. We're talking about prosperity, about investment, about the growth of the private sector, growth of competition and innovation.
There was some news out of that speech from President Trump, a number of pieces, but one of the big ones was that the Syrian president will be here to.
I mean, they're really smart for honestly investing in AI. Seeing that they have huge energy potential, these guys investing in AI, I ain't gonna lie, that's gonna be their next power hold. It's gonna be oil, and well, of course, the oil leads into energy and AI. And well, you need a whole lot of energy to run AI. You know what? Saudi Arabia, you might just be running half the AI in the world
tomorrow, because the President Trump announced that sanctions against Syria were going to be pulled. It seems like there is, and I saw the Crown Prince applauding loudly, so he's definitely for that. It seems like there is going to be an effort to bring Syria into the fold. Is that what you see?
What we see is the need in a country such as Syria for institutional capabilities to do the right thing. Institutional capabilities can be created through, they have a challenge with the institutions there. The kingdom has stepped in, and other countries in the region, to support Syria financially to go into some of the multilateral platforms. But something is strong and meaningful and material.
He said AI requests in Discord, Biden gets out of control. All right, bro, I get to your request, but I gotta get to my man Vladstein's first. So we're gonna get to this one, and then we're gonna get to CNN, because CNN also held an interview with I believe the Qatarian leader. Let me make sure. Yes, the Qatari Prime Minister. CNN did an interview with them. So we're gonna get through this one, CNN's interview. Then we're gonna get to Vladstein's video, which is actually a pretty good one. I think you guys are gonna enjoy this one. But all right, let's keep going.
As lifting sanctions could help.
But don't forget to like that video by double tapping that screen. Like, no, for real, double tap the screen. And I appreciate that.
A country such as Syria to invest more capital in building the institutions they need to be a more stable country, but also bring more stability to the region and be a force for good.
You've been around these two leaders. They seem to have a great relationship.
From what I see is that there's a very strong partnership, and I feel that the friendship is.
And shout out to my man Vlastin. He said, at James, no, it's the Democratic government, because you know democracy and Democrats are the same word. Everyone knows that. I'm weak. Democracy and Democrat are the same. Well, they're the same word. Everyone knows that. Constitutional republic is fascist. Wait, well, to them it is
strong, and it's built on mutual respect.
They come from different generations. He's 39.
You know, that's why these guys believe in stuff like reparations. They're okay with taking away the individual rights of others. They're just fine with it. That's why they had all the mandates.
He's 78, but they seem to get along. The Crown Prince, from my interaction with him last time, is nonstop. It's like a beehive of action for you ministers, especially.
I see common values between both leaders, regardless of age and background. And I think that's one of the things that really brings this mutual respect into the public eye.
If you were to look into the crystal ball and see where Saudi Arabia is, 5, 10, 20 years, what does it look like?
A more prosperous country. What I'm hoping it looks like. A more prosperous country that has a great trade relationship with us, that we also prosper off as well. And that helps us run our massive AI infrastructure that we'll soon have, or that we're planning to have, according to the Trump administration.
Right now, there's a lot of cranes on the horizon, as we notice.
So we want more sources of growth, and we want more channels for that flow to come into the economy. We want a private sector that's dynamic. We're a young population, but in about 20, 25, 30 years, we'll start the aging process.
And shout out to my man James Foley. Said, don't like it, John, go back to Swahili or wherever they speak that shit. God.
Oh, shit. Why?
That man cooking. Nah, I'm just playing fully. Nah, you cooking.
What we should look like at that stage is a government and a private sector and a third sector and academia that is leveraging fully generative AI and other technological tools towards productivity, but also that has created jobs for a lot of Saudis and has been able to, in the process, attract a lot of talent to come to Saudi to make Saudi Arabia their home.
Last thing, I've done a lot of stories about the evolution. What do you tell somebody?
And shout out to my man Green Bean. He says, they're not communists for once? Yeah, for one.
Who may still be skeptical about the kingdom.
Saudi Arabia is a long-term, reliable partner. If you
they're just so democratic, bro. The Green Bean, remember, they're just so democratic. It's in the name.
Ask anyone who has dealt with the kingdom, government, people, anyone who's visited here. You've visited here a few times already. You can feel that. You can see that this is a society that is strong, led by His Majesty King Salman, His Royal Highness Crown Prince Mohammed Salman. Saudi Arabia has always been and always will be a force for good, for innovation.
And it's growing fast.
Absolutely.
Mr. Minister, thanks for the time.
Thank you very much, Brett. Appreciate it.
All right. Now, they had a nice little exchange. Let's see how CNN did it. Hopefully they came with the same, respect, a nice little softball interview for them. Let's see what they did.
Neither the US president or Qatar's emir made specific mention of the now controversial gift of a luxury jumbo jet from Qatar to the United States. But during an interview with CNN's Becky Anderson, Qatar's prime minister dismissed the controversy. He also talked about a multi-billion-dollar deal with Boeing, which comes despite a string of controversies in recent years and questions over safety standards at Boeing.
You've pointed out that
that is fair criticism. That is honestly fair criticism, because Boeing, what the hell was y'all doing, man? Like, we got wings falling off, we got doors coming off, all because you guys rolled back on safety. well, now you don't got an excuse no more. And if you F this up, I mean, whoo, I don't think you want to do that.
Is a commitment to buy over
A lot of money
200
on the
jets from Boeing, price tag of around $200 million. Given it is Boeing's failure to deliver a new Air Force One to the president on time as promised, something like a 5-year delay, sir, are you confident that the aircraft manufacturer...
They said it should be done by 2016, 2017. 2017 at latest is when the president's new Air Force One should be, assembled. And yes, they're building a whole new plane. So, they're not just upgrading the current Air Force One. And here, to be honest, the president most likely won't be using that jet because it doesn't have all the specifics or the specifications that, the Air Force One would need. That the president would need to be safe in that jet. So it's really just going to be there looking nice.
Will deliver on time and on budget for you?
Well, Boeing has been a reliable partner for Qatar Airways for a long time, and of course we trust them, and we are confident that they are going to continue this partnership together with Qatar Airways. Qatar Airways has been nominated as the top airline in the world for many years consecutively, and we are using Boeing actually quite significantly in our.
Can we take a moment to get to the bottom of this offer by Qatar of a multi-million-dollar Boeing 747-8 to President Trump? When did your government first start talking to the US about this aircraft, and who broached the subject first? Was it the US or was it Qatar?
Well, actually, it's, I know that there were a lot of...
And my bad. How did it go from 125 to 150 asking for a friend? Honestly, it's rollover. Yes, I kind of roll over into the next day. So if you guys don't meet the 150 goal today, or usually the 150 goal, I kind of just roll it over. Then if you guys go over the goal, I just count that into the next day. Oh gosh, shout out to rollover Snapchats, just like rollover minutes from your old wireless plan.
Speculations about...
Oh, and shout out Fox. He's like, bro, you raised the price? No, my bad, bro. My bad. I fixed it.
About this topic, I don't know what is the reason that instigate this. This is a very simple government-to-government dealing when Ministry of Defense and Department of Defense are still exchanging the possibility of transferring one of our 747s -8 to be used as Air Force One, and it's still under the legal review. So
and shout out Fox Shay. He's like, nah, we watch our money, bro. Nah, facts. He's like, no, bro, I counted. There's no way. And you are right.
There is nothing really, I don't know what was like, why it became like so big as a news that this is something that, considered, very, in a very strange way.
And shout out to our man, James Phone. Did the menthol cart cigarettes get to you? What, bro? Come on now. Come on now. I don't even smoke cigarettes.
It's, we have done.
Well, nobody should honestly be smoking cigarettes. I mean, come on now, guys. There's better thing. You can smoke herbs or something. You guys can smoke something that doesn't destroy you, like the cigarette companies try to, with the chemicals and the added to with the chemicals with the tobacco. I mean, if you just smoke tobacco by itself without the added chemicals, it's not that bad. But with the chemicals, with the Newports and the flavors and all that good stuff, F's you up. It just F's you up.
A lot together with the US. For example, the airlifting that happened during Afghanistan evacuation, 80% of that been taken care of from Qatar.
I think the point is that this people are confused as to whether this is a personal offer to President Trump from the Emir. Certainly, President Donald Trump suggesting in an interview on Tuesday that Qatar approached him, claiming that one Qatari official said, "If I can help you, let me do that." Is that true?
Well, it is a government-to-government transaction. It has nothing to do with personnel, whether it's on the US side or on the Qatari side. It's Ministry of Defense, Department of Defense. So I don't see anything in that.
So it's a gift from his Ministry of Defense to Trump's Department of Defense. That's pretty much why he don't see it as a big deal. So, guys, when them say, oh, you got a gift from them, no, it's a gift from Qatar's Ministry of Defense to Trump's Department of Defense. And this is quoted from, well, the Qatari Prime Minister himself. I mean, there's no other better source. What can I say? I mean, you can't beat a source better than this.
With personnel, whether it's on the U.S. side or on the Qatari side, it's the Ministry of Defense, the Department of Defense. So I don't see anything in that.
It's, you're alluding to the fact that this has created huge controversy in the States, and this is sort of bipartisan criticism, Republicans and Democrats accusing the president of graft and Qatar of buying influence. Are you?
Why would we buy an influence in the United States? If you look just, in the last 10 years of the U.S.-Qatar relationship, Qatar has been always there for the U.S. when it's needed, whether it's on the war against terror, whether it's in the evacuation of Afghanistan, whether it's on releasing hostages from different countries around the world. And Qatar has been always a reliable partner for the U.S., has been always stepping up to help and to support the U.S., because we believe that this friendship needs to be mutually beneficial for both countries. It cannot be a one-way relationship.
Can we talk about Syria?
Sure.
You're a strong backer of this new government, and you've been lobbying for sanctions release for some time now to unlock aid into the country. Now, Donald Trump in Riyadh announced that he is lifting sanctions. This news is making huge waves across this region. What do you now believe that you can accomplish for Syria?
Well, I think, first of all, the Syrian people deserve to live a dignified life. And basically, the sanctions were imposed on Assad regime, given his behavior against his own people. And now, if the sanctions remained as they were, how we will be able to help the Syrian people to change their situation and to get out of the consequences of the civil war that they had and they've been through in the last 12 years, maybe. So lifting the sanction, we believe it is the right step moving forward. Now, there are a lot of questions being raised about, okay, how do we know the current government? What's about their background? Everyone has these questions, and these are legitimate questions since it's a new government. And given this background, of course, we have no knowledge about this government until they became in power. So basically, what we decided to do is to start engaging with them, to start to see if they are saying and doing the right things. Then we should support them. We should support the stability of Syria. We should support that Syria should.
Pretty much, if they're trying to hop on, if they're trying to hop on page, if they're trying to hop on code with us, which is, I mean, yes, you guys, no more terrorism, and you guys can run yourself a decent economy, and without being terrorists. As long as you guys can do that, everything is good. If you guys got a stable leadership, fantastic. And why not? Then why not? Then why can't we invite Syria back into the world economy? Why not?
Shouldn't fail and shouldn't turn into a chaos. And basically, what we've been hearing and what we've been seeing until now, we've been hearing the right things. Of course, there will be downsides from time to time. There will be some mistakes happening here and there. And this is a country which is getting out of civil war after a long time. So we believe disengaging is going to be the biggest mistake. Will leave us with just one option, chaos.
Yeah.
But engaging in a constructive manner, trying to help to alleviate the situation over there in Syria and making sure that we are working together with them step by step.
Pretty much trying to bring them under their wing. It's like, all right, look, y'all been devastated by civil war and on the power struggle that's been going on. Let us put you under our wing. We're going to try to get America to open y'all back up, lift the sanctions, so y'all can start making some money, and we're going to guide you through it. It's pretty much what Qatar and I believe what Saudi Arabia was getting around to. They're trying to help their, Muslim brothers. I mean, you got to respect it. That's probably one thing I always did respect about these people, like their union through their religion.
That's the only way for us where we will have a chance to have a better Syria and stabilize Syria.
And let's talk about Gaza. You've been deeply involved.
Good or bad, though. Good or bad. It could be good or bad, but you got to respect the way they stick together.
In mediating between Israel and Hamas for more than 19 months. I've been in and out of this.
Actually, damn it, they'll outright beef with each other for decades and then be cool with each other later. It's like actually funny, the relationship of the Middle East.
Country, and watch the efforts that have been put into that mediation. There's a high-level Israeli delegation here today. Steve Witkoff is here, Donald Trump's Middle East envoy, and his chief hostage negotiator, Adam Boehler. What can you tell us about any progress in those talks, the indirect talks, of course, with Hamas here?
Well, the progress that we have achieved by releasing Idan Alexander, the Israeli-American citizen, the day before yesterday, from our...
And shout out to my man Hellbait. He said a great pastime is to make fun of obese people. Just make sure not to sugarcoat it or they'll eat that too. This man. But bro, I even go, that was actually pretty funny though. Like, all right, man, you guys are on a roll today at this point. Like, what? Do we need to have like a comedy hour or something? Because
perspective, we were seeing it as a breakthrough that will help and bring back the talks on track and bring us a ceasefire and opening up a humanitarian corridor for the humanitarian assistance to come to the people of Gaza. Unfortunately, Israel's reaction to this was a mass bombing the next day while sending the delegation, and statements coming out of the Israeli government that this delegation is coming to negotiate a hostage deal without ending the war, which is basically sending the signal that we are not interested in negotiations. This was a bad signal, and we have highlighted this concern to the Israelis, and we told them that we need to engage in a meaningful negotiations.
But that's the problem with Israel. They're just not doing that. I mean, even Steve Witkoff came back and said, yo, Israel's not trying to get back their hostages. They're just trying to keep on bombing Gaza. Like what's going on with them? That's why when Steve Witkoff came back and told Trump that, Trump was like, yeah, probably best I distance myself from him. And yeah, let's go save our citizen real quick. Went behind Israel's back, was able to get their guy back oh so quickly, but Israel got mad it didn't even go through them. And I'm just thinking like, bro, because y'all tried to bomb that kid and then blame Hamas.
Making sure that returns all the hostages safely and ending the war in Gaza and making sure that the humanitarian suffering is lifted from Gaza.
Yeah, because right now they're being starved intentionally by Gaza. Now nobody's sitting here, no ifs, ands, or buts about it. They are being starved in Gaza.
Right now, our teams are engaging with both.
Like literally, and Israel's literally throwing like a hissy fit right now. One, because we are not going to go to war with Iran for these guys. We're not doing it. Two, well, because we're talking to the Saudis. And three, because we're not letting them take the Gaza Strip. So now these guys are talking like, oh, well, it don't even matter about the hostages no more. We're still going to move into Gaza. And I'm just like, bro, I thought this was all about the hostages. Now you're telling me that. So what was this all for then? All right. Like I said, I'll always bring up the numbers. Like I do feel bad about the 1,200 that you guys lost, but 20 to 40,000 is crazy. Like, come on now. And then you're starving the people as well. Ridiculous.
With both parties, we hope to see some progress. I'm not sure if this progress will be something seen.
And shout out my man James Foley. Fox said, don't forget about the video. It's 4 seconds. All right, bro. I got you.
Very soon with this continuing behavior.
Before I let you go, this is my final question. The US is in talks with Iran. Donald Trump has said the time to choose is now. This is not an offer that will last forever. He said he'd discussed Iran with the Emir today. Did he share what that US offer to Iran looks like? Are they close to a deal? And he talked about how the Emir has been a great help. So what's Qatar's involvement here?
Well, actually, we had a very good and very productive discussion between His Highness the Emir and the President about the negotiations on on the Iran nuclear program. We strongly believe that this can be only solved diplomatically, and we believe that escalation is not in the interest of any party. We are trying our best to support that effort. Our colleagues in Oman is doing an outstanding job in mediating the conflict between them, and any kind of support that we are able to provide when we are reaching out to the parties, we are doing our utmost.
Honestly, you know, if this could come help some of you guys understand, you know, the same way, you know, you guys feel about the white South Africans, it's kind of the same way these people feel about Gaza. Same way.
Discussion basically between His Highness and the President is just highlighting the risks of not having a deal and what would be the best way to mitigate those through finding a compromise between the between the US and Iran that can bring us to a deal.
Fantastic. All righty. But all right, now let's get on to Vlad's video. Then I'm gonna go ahead and try to get into Foley's clip. Now, Vlad, I could probably do like the first 10, but 40 is crazy.
All right, guys, what's up? We're here in Washington, D.C. We're in the National Mall, and this is the May Day protest. So we're going to walk around. We're going to talk to some people and, you know, see why they're out here protesting Donald Trump. I was wondering, why is Trump a traitor?
Because he has turned our country from democracy into a dictatorship.
He was voted in.
But he was conned. He conned everybody.
How did he con it?
He told lies that people believed.
What lie?
What lie?
What
You mean
lie?
plural?
Yeah, what lie? Name one.
One thing, he took an oath to the Constitution, and that was a lie because he has flouted the authority of the judicial system, which is meant to be separate but equal. How do you mean?
See, here's the thing, though. The reason why these Dems him up on the judicial system, because that's the only power they got left. That's why these guys are kind of overlining on the courts, because that's all you guys got left, because Biden done had his way with the courts with a whole bunch of Biden appointed officials. Well, or what was it? What do they call themselves?
Separate but equal.
Separate but equal.
That's segregation. What are you talking about? Separate but equal is Plessy v. Ferguson.
No.
You mean separation of powers?
Yes.
So, right.
So yes, Biden appointed justices.
But what has he done?
I'm speaking. Would you like to interview me?
Yes.
3 separate but equal branches of government, which prohibits the concept of a unitary executive, because a unitary executive is not equal to the other branches.
How is he a unitary executive?
He is trying to consolidate more power in the executive than it is given by the Constitution.
So how is he directly violated our judicial branch?
He has said that federal judges that rule against him are anti-American.
So what? That's not exerting any power.
So
Nope.
what? I'm sorry, we're done.
It's an opinion.
No, it's not an opinion. It's fact.
No. He said an opinion, right? So if he says you're anti-American, that's an opinion. He's not exerting any power.
He is the supreme executive of this country.
What has he done
with the benefit of the bully pulpit? When he says something, it's not a joke. When he says
it's his opinion. If I say you're anti-American, that doesn't. I'm not exerting power against you.
The president has command authority. If you're in the military,
that's not an order.
I'm speaking. I'm going to draw an analogy because you're having trouble following my line of thought.
I think you're having trouble following.
No, I don't think I am. I think I'm not fucking solid, buddy.
I don't think so. You're like shaking.
I'm shaking with rage because I took an oath to defend this Constitution. 23 years of loyal and faithful service, and he's going to call vets suckers and losers.
He never did.
He never called vets sucker and losers. That's the problem. I don't know why you guys believe that. It's like if that's everything he's riding off of, I would ask him. I'd be like, all right, bro, can you find the clip? I'm pretty sure you can't. And the accusation, yes, was originated by The Atlantic. Yeah, written by Jeffrey Goldberg. I mean, god damn. It is funny how these guys can just get away with like a vicious amount of lying. A vicious amount of lying.
That
bullshit.
Even John Bolton, who hates Trump, said that he didn't say that.
Bullshit.
Yeah.
I will take the word
Where's
of
the recording?
flag officer who said that he said it.
The flag officer didn't say it.
Yeah. Nope, no flag off. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's all a lie. They just lied to you guys and y'all just ate it up. That's the funny thing about Dems. It's like that's why we kind of sit there and chuckle at you guys, because it's like, yo, y'all really just bought that. No fact check, no nothing. You can't even find a video. You cannot find a video. You cannot find no proof of this. You guys just go off an article, and I'm just like, dog. Can't you just give me direct source? If you're saying Trump said it and everybody's saying Trump said it, then obviously he said it on camera.
The flag officer said he said.
No, he didn't. It was an anonymous source in the Atlantic.
It's anonymous.
It was an anonymous source. I am.
Yes, you are.
Why should we impeach him?
Shame on you. Why? Because he's a traitor.
seditionist.
Yes.
Why is he a traitor?
Because he's not following the Constitution.
What is he doing that's not following the Constitution?
I mean, you just kept us out of war. How's that like being a traitor?
He is flouting.
Like what? Everything. You should be able to name one thing.
Well,
Due
that's
process.
like Congress has control of the money.
Everything.
And he's
oh Lord.
Not true.
The power of the
No.
Congress has the power.
They have the power to allocate funds. The executive branch has the power to decide where the funds go.
They already allocated the funds.
No. So I'll tell you how it works.
They
No.
already allocated
Hey, you know
the
what?
funds, and he wouldn't
I'll tell
let
you how
the
it works.
funds go.
I appreciate
So-
you being out here in a free press, but I'm leaving because Trump is
All
a
right.
traitor and you're a traitor, and I don't entertain traitors.
I'd say you're a traitor.
So the president.
Damn.
So
I
okay.
think you're
So
a
Congress decides. So if the Congress says $100,000 to hospitals, right? The executive branch has the ability to decide which hospitals the money goes to. If Congress does not specifically specify exactly where the money goes, the executive has unilateral authority to decide which institutions that money goes to.
So you're for a rapist.
How is he a rapist?
It was rape what he did.
What was?
No, he wasn't.
What the 13-year-old girl?
No,
You
no,
talking about
Whoa.
raped a 13-year-old girl? You guys are full of shit.
Whoa, that's wild. It is crazy how they try to say that about, oh, he did this to a 13-year-old girl. Nope, never did. Oh, he was liable for rape. Nope, never was. Actually, ABC had to pay this man $15 million and that was for defamation because they said that.
How is he a rapist?
It was rape what he did.
What was?
What the 13-year-old girl?
No, you're talking about raped a 13-year-old girl. You guys are full of shit.
It was adjudicated. What's her name?
You're talking about E. Jean Carroll who made $1 million while she's.
E. Jean Carroll is not a little girl. E. Jean Carroll is a old ass woman who said grape is sexy live on CNN. I mean, it was probably the most funniest. It's probably the most funniest thing ever because Anderson Cooper looked oh so uncomfortable. Oh so uncomfortable. Lily says, nah, grape can be sexy. I was like, what? And we're taking her at face value when she say Trump, graped her? Really? Okay.
Sued Trump.
Jane Carroll.
And he was never proven guilty in a court of law.
Like, if you guys want to believe the crazy cat lady, go ahead, because y'all was about to vote for a crazy cat lady. So it is what it is.
He was.
No, he wasn't. What is the burden of proof in civil court? You know?
Nothing.
Preponderance of evidence. It's 51%.
Yeah, don't really got to prove it.
And E. Jean Carroll sued Donald.
I mean, yeah, that's why a lot of these girls who try to Me Too guys, I mean, they go through civil court because you don't even got to provide that much proof. You just got to halfway prove it, and you could win. You could win in civil court, even though he didn't do it. If you could halfway prove and make it look like he did it, you can make it work.
Donald Trump and made millions.
You evil. No, never mind.
Millions of dollars on her book while she was suing him.
He has gutted every agency that is for the freedom.
ChatGPT is official because I tried to talk to Gemini about the $400 million jet, and Gemini literally did not know about it. Literally didn't know about it. And this is supposed to be Google's AI. So it surprised me. And then I switched over to ChatGPT, and ChatGPT was able to give me all the facts. And, I mean, shout out to AI, though.
Of people who live here.
Cutting waste, fraud, and abuse.
Bullshit.
No, he is not.
What does he cut? What does he cut?
With a chainsaw.
Actually, though, an announcement, though, I will be getting into our, new sponsor. Hopefully tomorrow I'll be able to play the ad once it gets approved, and you guys can, meet the new sponsor that will be sponsoring the lies for a little bit. Appreciate the support, guys, but let's keep it going.
He'll cut department, and then he's got to bring him back because we made a mistake.
Like what?
Like with
Yes, exactly.
Stop. Yeah, that's right.
We're just sharing ideas.
And the tariffs, we're getting millions of dollars on certain places, but I know it's ridiculous.
What are you talking about?
So,
Wait, what is fascism?
Oh, I don't need to give.
You can't define it because you don't know what it is.
I know.
You don't know what it is. You can't define it.
I know a lot more. But,
You don't know anything. What is fascism?
Don't answer.
Okay. So
Right, because you guys can't answer.
I'm weak. Sponsors. You like sponsor? We already met Dave. Weak as hell. No, not Dave. But I will give you a hint, though. It is an AI service, so there you go. Which AI service is to be announced, but I believe I shared it in the Discord.
Sir, what is fast?
You go away.
I got. What do you mean? Ovechkin's great. I was just at Game 5 last night.
Why don't you go away?
What do you mean? How do I afford that? Because I have a job. Why aren't you at work?
Because I took today off.
Okay. Guys, why should we impeach Trump? This guy's a loser. Why should we impeach Trump?
I'm weak.
Get you to say things that aren't.
Why are you following? You have a crush on me? Why are you following me?
Why are you following?
You have a crush on me or what?
Are you gonna be silent too?
Ma'am, why should we impeach Trump?
Don't talk to him.
This guy, he has a crush on me. It's all right.
He's trying to bait you.
He has a crush on me. It's fine. He's one of my many loyal fans.
I followed him around. He's talking to people trying to bait them.
I'm not trying to bait. I'm looking for a free exchange of ideas. You have free speech on your umbrella.
I do.
Let's talk. Let's talk. Why impeach Trump?
Attacking our democracy.
Okay, how's he attacking democracy?
And she talking.
He's not using any.
And shout out to our man AJ. He says Dems have brainwashed their base. It's all so sad. I know, right? It's like, bruh. It really is. Like when you really sit here and just be like, bro, are you really like, like how brainwashed you guys got to be to sit there and think that storming an ICE facility is okay? How brainwashed you honestly have to be to sit there and defend gang members, illegal immigrants, anchor babies? And then how wild do you got to be to sit here and follow some kid around talking about don't talk to him, don't talk to him, don't talk to him? I mean, dog. Do you not got anything better to do? I'd have to really look at dude like, I ain't even gonna lie, bro. He's a nice guy. Me, I'd look at him and be like, now look, bro, if you don't get on with your life, you're gonna spend the rest of your day sleeping.
Rules.
That's
He's
just
just
me.
thrown out the playbook. He's deporting people without any kind of due process. He's not listening to judges. He's having federal judges arrested.
Who is he deported without due process?
Well, there's a whole number of people.
Like who? I mean, there's a whole number. There should be.
Go away.
Yeah.
This guy,
He's like, you getting discount codes? My new hobby is expensive. Yes, I am getting new disc. Yes, I do have a discount code. Yes, I do, folks. Don't worry, guys. It will be announced soon enough.
He literally just has a crush on me. He's asked me to go home with him a bunch of times.
He's attacking me because I'm
No, this guy's literally, he's saying I'm attacking him. He's following me around like a lost puppy.
Well, actually, I'm going to have a break and go get some water.
All right, good luck. Have a nice day.
Thank you.
That's the word that this guy's baiting.
This is my
people.
security guard.
No, I'm not. I'm not affiliated with him.
He's my security guard. He's on volunteer work today. Nice to meet you. I'm Cam. Oh, cool. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too.
He's walking around interviewing people.
My husband
baiting
is
them,
just
trying to
crazy
get
when he's
them
on his
on
pills.
camera.
Oh yeah, I
Yeah.
love it. I love it. That's great.
Yeah.
I'm not affiliated with him.
He's my husband. Yeah.
But you're just gonna keep following this man? Like, bro, how much? Like, what type of time do you have?
Yeah.
Yes.
He is. He loses his mind when he doesn't take his pills. It's just
So that's a Trump approach to.
he'll tell you I'm insulting him and attacking him, but he's literally following me around.
I love it.
I'm following you around
Yeah.
to make sure people know what you're doing.
Right. You like it? Thank you. I was just at Game 5 last night.
It's great.
Yeah, it was
but that
awesome.
doesn't have anything to
We
do with
won.
what we're here
It doesn't. No, it doesn't. We're here.
I'm an American.
Why are we here?
This is
We
what
want
Smokey,
to
Smokey the Bear?
and remove
Yeah.
the president.
Why?
There is
So let's
one
not-
legal means of removing him.
Yes, impeachment.
Impeachment.
Why do we want to impeach him?
Hey, shout out to our man Fox Chase says, man. He said these people here interviewing. Okay, my bad. These people he's interviewing are the same people in the chat trolling. Behind the keyboard, they spew lies. In person, they can't even explain anything. I mean, trust me, on the call-in, they can't really do it either. It is sad, but it is fun to watch sometimes, or it is fun to entertain, I will admit. Like the guy last night. That was fun to entertain.
We want to impeach him for high crime.
And they prove my point about their character every time. It's like absolutely hilarious.
And misdemeanors.
What
which
high
are
crimes?
documented in the articles of impeachment that have already been filed.
What high crimes has he committed?
I don't have the full list, but
You're the media liaison, right? Or the liaison at least.
I'm a liaison of the other groups that are our partners. But yes,
It's like y'all do no research. Y'all don't even look this up. Y'all pretty much just let these people tell you whatever. You just run with it. You don't research it or nothing, but you guys are willing to take your time out your day to go write signs and protest. and you can't even name the evil or the things that this man is doing, or you claim that he's doing, is what I really meant to say.
In a way, he'll go away.
Take my oxygen away.
Just don't talk.
Babe, come on.
Okay.
Just not talking.
Oh, I see.
All right, well, let's celebrate. We won game 5. Habs swept. Let's go. Perfect.
Yeah, the high crimes, I think you'll find it pretty easily.
But can you think of any high crimes he's committed?
I can. For one thing, taking Americans and people who are being processed through immigration legally.
I mean, here's the thing, and this is how you know these guys are low-key like uncomfortable on their opinions. All right, bro, if you guys are on the right side, then why do you care if he talk to these people? You should actually want this guy to be talking to your guys because you're speaking straight facts, right? Because you're speaking facts, because you want your message to get out. Even if he is a Trump supporter, remember, you guys are oh so morally in the right. You guys are oh so more smarter than us. You guys should be okay with us out there pretty much talking to you guys. You guys should be able to make us look stupid. But for some reason, it kind of sounds like this guy ain't too confident in his stance or other people's defense in his stance. It's a bit funny because when you get aggressive about this stuff, it lets me know that you are insecure in your stance.
And sending them to death camps.
Like who?
We said sponsored by. I'm not even gonna do that. I can't even do that. But shout out to my man KD though. Shout out to my boy KD. Shout out Key. Hey man, weak. I can't even do that, man. Damn, folks, you can't be doing it. Damn, put out his whole name, bro. Like, bruh. But shout out to the support.
There's a long list.
But who are they?
Okay,
There's a long list. You should know a couple.
I know. We've got Kilmar.
Kilmar Obrego Garcia was an MS-13 gang member. Their motto is kill, steal, rape, control.
He is not a member. And
He is. He has MS. He has an MS-13 tattoo, and no, his wife actually, his wife's former boyfriend filed a federal complaint that he was worried his children were in danger.
That's a lie.
Okay.
That's the truth. I'm sorry. It's okay though. It's okay. Look, it's okay. You guys were running behind a wife beater and a gangbanger, and you guys don't want to accept the fact. I get it. The cognitive dissonance is real.
Because he's an MS-13 gang member. His wife's boyfriend was lying.
His wife's former boyfriend
Was lying.
Just have a
The Party for Women supports a wife beater. Crazy.
reason.
Because those kids are his kids, and he was concerned that his wife was living with a MS-13 gang member.
You're lying.
She is. You're right. Trump is an immigrant. He's a second-generation immigrant. Both of his wives are first-generation immigrants.
Came from somewhere.
Yeah.
All three on the way.
Yeah, all of his kids are second-generation too. Except Tiffany.
Yeah,
They love
fine
immigrants.
for them.
He is one.
But it's not for people from Central America.
Well, you shouldn't come to the country illegally, right? I mean, Obama was the deporter-in-chief. He deported more people than any president in U.S. history.
He did. There is a legal means, and if
debate
people
this guy.
don't
He's
come
gonna
in
cut
through
it up
legal
and-
means,
And shout out to Foley. He says born February 1997. I know a guy who knows a guy. God damn it, Foley.
Use it against
I don't cut it up. You watch my YouTube videos. I
understand why
long
people
form.
want them removed. I understand why people would want people who've committed crimes removed. But people who have committed no crimes and are coming in through legal pathways should not be deported.
Well, Kilmar
What
Abrego
about that,
Garcia is a
Ricky?
member of a foreign designated terrorist organization.
That, no.
He what? Yes, he is.
No.
He is. Why did he?
Trump was
Wait,
embarrassed
hold
on
up.
national
So
news
Kilmar Abrego
yesterday.
Garcia was under a deportation order. He just couldn't be sent to El Salvador.
Trump
Why
was
couldn't he be sent to El
embarrassed
Salvador?
yesterday.
Do you know?
Because they would
Because
kill
he
him.
lies.
Who would kill him? Who would kill him? He was rival
You're
gangs.
You're baiting people.
That's
You're
right.
here.
I'm not baiting anyone.
Yeah. Let's.
Well, I'm glad I had a good conversation with you. Have a good one.
That's gaslighting.
It's not gaslighting.
Oh, he's finally leaving?
And you're lying.
Because I have a different opinion than you, that means I'm lying?
You're lying.
How am I lying? What am I lying about?
Representatives being MS-13.
No representative. No,
No,
Kilmar Abrego Garcia, not a representative.
MS-13, then why is he not deported?
He is deported. He's in El
Deported.
Salvador.
Yeah. I
He's
mean,
in CICOT.
He's with the people in the concentration camps?
There's no concentration camps.
Sure.
Where's
that's not a, I mean, god damn, that's how you framed it to y'all? It's a supermax prison. I mean, we got those as well, ma'am. I mean, we don't call those concentration camps. We call them supermax prison. That's what he's in. He's not in no concentration camp. Like, bruh, damn, they say the most egregious lies. Like, concentration camp is crazy.
the concentration camp?
Okay, in El Salvador, he's getting paid for every person. Hang on. If you look, they're shaved, they're in boxer shorts and t-shirts, and they walk and they push their heads down so they don't know where they are. That's a
It's a prison for gang members.
That's a high security prison. And it's a prison outside this country. They put their heads down, they do this. It's like, yes, it's called prison. Sorry, but they don't even want these guys to know where they're at or how to move around the facility. It's a tactic, pretty much. They keep their head down so they don't know how to move around the facility just in case they get out. Because, you got your head up. They can look around, look for landmarks, just in case. They're that serious about their security. That's why they call it max security prison.
For killers.
Oh, man. Shout out to my man, James Foley, for the baller alert. To open the lines like it's Pelosi's meat drapes. God damn it, Foley. God damn it.
I'm not. How am I lying?
I got you.
You just look it up. How is it? What's
in prison and then look at this?
Okay, cool. So what's the point of having your boobs out?
Yo.
Boobs are nice.
Whoa.
What is the statement you're making with the shirt off?
So I've been advising people not to talk to him. He gets tired and he walks away.
I just want one person here to give me an answer.
I'm like, first off, you're gonna have the racks out. If you're gonna have it out, man, at least have some decent, like, cha-cha, whatever you want to know. I'll just say, man, at least have some decent tits. Like, damn, you're gonna have them out like that. At least let it be a sight to see. Like, come on now, man. Come on. Over here scarring me and shit.
Of the definition of fascism. Do you know the definition of fascism, sir?
No, he doesn't.
You don't know it?
That's my husband. He's following me.
That's your husband?
No, I'm just kidding.
Are you taking him for a walk?
Yeah, I'm taking him for a walk. Yeah,
I call
on a
those my
leash.
dogs.
On a leash. Yeah.
I call those my dogs. Right?
Yeah.
Yo.
Are you? Hey, just say what for us, please.
You are
Come on,
following
come
me
on.
like a dog.
Speak. Sit.
We are pro-America around here.
True. Pro-America. Guys, I just wanted to let you know this guy voted for Trump and he keeps following me. I don't know who he's like trying to harass me. Ma'am, can you tell me a little bit about your outfit? Why not?
Kid's funny.
What does it mean?
What the fuck?
All right.
What the fuck?
Hi.
Hi, how's it going?
Can I help you at all?
No, thank you very much, though. I appreciate the offer. Unless would you like to talk about your beliefs or why you're here?
Well, I can speak to you on behalf of Mayday Movement. I am the PIO.
Awesome. Okay, so
And
what
who
is
are you with?
Today's America?
I'm so sorry, I don't know.
It's okay. We're pretty small.
And
but
who is that with? Where does that come out from?
on our website, today'samerica.com. And I also post it on my YouTube and whatever.
Well,
But,
good for you.
Thank you. So tell me a little bit about May Day. Why are you guys out?
Mayday Movement has one focus and one focus only: impeach and remove.
Why do we want to impeach Trump?
Well, I think the endless problems that have been caused in recent, months
You say.
have been tremendous.
Which problem specifically?
Where do I?
You do know that he runs a podcast.
She's the PIO for the protests.
On the MAGA side.
And
Hey,
I'm
what's your name?
happy.
How's it going? Okay.
I appreciate
God bless
Okay,
you.
I'm just making
I
sure.
wish more
'cause he's
people
been
were like you.
I am happy to talk.
Bro,
to
these liberals just get invasive for no reason. I mean, hey, shout out to the guys who can do this. Because me personally, I just don't know, guys. I'm a pretty chill guy. But when you kind of cross certain lines, I don't know. I tend to get a tad bit, a tiny bit aggressive.
To people who are unsuspecting, that's all.
No, I ask people questions about their sons.
Actually, I've been given a heads up.
Yeah, I've been okay, great.
So
You were saying.
So I will tell you.
And shout out, he says Gizmo called me out to debate. I will if he pays or kick rocks. I mean, hey, shout out. Oh yeah, I'm about to go ahead and put the call-in line in. Well, the call-in link in the post tab on the main page. So go ahead. So watch out for that one, guys. Give me about a minute.
What my child's sign said. It's UGG. Where do I start?
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. My conclusion is I can sum it up this way. This man has singularly been responsible for American carnage.
Damn.
And it
Carnage.
stops.
Carnage?
Don't touch my camera. Piss off before I beat the shit out of you. Leave.
Nah, low key though. See, all right, thank you. Because I ain't even gonna lie. That's what I'm saying. Thank you, thank you. Man, that's my boy right there. I like him now. I like him. I was like, no, he's a little bit too nice, but I like him now.
You leave?
No.
Can you leave?
I cannot leave.
Can you
leave?
No,
Can
I
you
cannot
leave?
He just assaulted my cameraman and touched my camera.
No.
Touch my shit, I beat the shit out of you.
Can you leave?
No, I cannot.
We will not abide by. Okay, just
Sorry, you were saying.
You gonna do touch him?
Sorry, I'm not a violent person, but you can't touch my stuff. You know what I'm saying?
It's a public area,
yeah, hey,
Dick. It's okay.
Yeah.
He can
It's
have
okay.
his space. If you just
Yeah.
don't talk to him, he'll walk away.
It's
No.
It's not a
He
problem.
threatened someone. That's a violation.
He assaulted my cameraman and hit my camera.
We are responsible for this movement. Please.
Okay, so be responsible for your people. This is
Yeah,
your
low
people.
key.
He just assaulted my cameraman and touched my camera. Well, I don't know who he, but he's here with your protest. So I know he's not like with your organization,
There's a
but
lot of people here.
I'd like to just.
I'm weak. So you think that you're gonna bother him by starting to record him? I mean, man, these guys are insane, to be quite honest with you.
Talk about the issue, not this loser for assaulting my cameraman.
I'm sure that if you're keeping up with the news, you're aware that 7 articles of impeachment have been filed.
Yes,
this
I'm
week.
sure. Yeah.
And that's a good start. That's a very good start.
Can you move
And I
away?
think we already have 19 members of Congress.
The bro, it ain't even been a year. It ain't even been a year, and they're trying to impeach this man. Yeah, you Dems are hilarious. I'm not even gonna lie. Like already, and here's the funny thing is, you know, the Democratic party leader, right? I think it's Hakeem Jeffrey. He even said that, yeah, we're not following through with the impeachment on Trump because you guys look insane. Even your party leader got to pump the brakes on you guys. Like, yeah, guys, I'm gonna be real with you. I know we got y'all out here protesting about impeaching Trump, but yeah, we're not actually gonna go for impeaching Trump. Like, I know, because you look stupid doing it within like it's less than a year. It ain't even been 1 year. You guys are crying.
But both of you,
Is that a lawful order?
both of you, please.
Is
move.
that a lawful order? Are you a law enforcement
No.
agent?
No.
Okay, great.
We're okay.
Best way
No.
to.
We're okay.
Yes, way to-
I guess he's not your people for real. Sorry, you were saying. So articles of
No,
impeachment from
but I
Sri
am the leader.
Tanadar, right?
No,
Yes.
Yes. So what do you think Trump should be impeached for?
I'm gonna
Well,
call
I think the
law
articles of
enforcement
impeachment
and
are
call
a
the
very
police.
good start. I think selling meme coins and selling access to the White House is one of the problems.
How is he selling access to the White House?
He sells meme coins, and if you spend enough money, you can get a personal tour of the White House and access to the United States president.
Safety.
Okay.
Sorry, I lost my train of thought.
You know, our message is it's plain and simple and
Okay.
self-contained. May Day movement is here to impeach and remove.
Is there any policies you disagree with?
We're only
I'm sure of many.
we have one focus,
Yeah.
and
Just
And
impeachment.
impeachment.
impeach and remove. That's it. We're not talking about universal health care. We're not.
Yeah, I think you guys are kind of missing the process here. Yeah, you need like a reason, not just because you don't like him, not just because he won the election. That's the problem with you, Dems. It's like, yeah, I want to impeach him just because he won the election. That's why you're trying to do it so early. So you guys actually got to have a reason here. Where's your reason? You don't know. Oh, he committed crimes. What crime? You can't say. You want to talk about the crypto coin? That's not a crime. It's not. You can own a crypto coin. You can be invested in Trump's crypto coin. And here's the thing. Trump crypto coin is like, bro, y'all making it sound like this is the hottest coin to ever hit the crypto market. It's not.
Talking about
Right.
veterans
Okay, I
benefits. We're
understand.
not talking pro-life, pro-choice. We have one focus and one focus only. May Day movement is working to impeach and remove the president of the United States. That's May Day movement.
What crimes would you want to impeach him for?
I think I've already mentioned a couple
Just the meme
times. I'm
coin?
sorry.
No,
We've
you're
got
good.
no. We've got a very good start from the 7 articles of impeachment from the congressman,
Okay.
and we have legal scholars all over the place. I can hook you up with one of them. I can get you one of our lawyers who can get farther in depth. But the message is simple. There are 52% of the American public.
Actually, you know what even the craziest part is? People want to talk about how he violated the Constitution, but the Supreme Court has ruled in this man's favor. So that means, when the Supreme Court rules in your favor, yeah, they looked over the Constitution. They said, well, he's within the Constitution to use the Alien Enemies Act. Yep, he can go ahead and send these Venezuelans up out of here. No, yep, the due process is them getting on the jet. Boom. I mean, You guys say he's unconstitutional, but I mean, you ask the Supreme Court and they say, nah, he's good. He's within the Constitution. Everything is just fine. If you ask the Supreme Court. Now, oh, what? You know, guys don't want to believe Supreme Court now because you don't believe police evidence. You don't believe witness testimony. You don't believe informant information. So what do you guys believe? What do you guys consider a source?
Has already been recorded as favoring impeachment and removal.
Appreciate you talking to me. I love the nice discussion. Contrary to public belief, I'm not here for trouble. You know, I just want to talk to people. So
again, we welcome, and honestly, we welcome anyone.
Well, God bless you.
Thank you so much. I don't care what your political beliefs are.
And you as well. That was really beautiful.
And if you are going to stand with us on this.
Now, I do want to get to this real quick because you guys sound crazy. But, you know, sources, U.S. Today, Supreme Court of the United States. I mean, you can actually look this up yourself. But let's get straight to it. Yes, and in April 2025, the Supreme Court allowed the Trump administration to proceed with the deportation of alleged Venezuelan gang members under the Aliens Enemy Act, a law typically invoked during wartime. Man. Isn't that tough? I mean, it's right here. You can read the rest of it if you want to. You can feel free to Google it. If you want to go ahead and look up the resources, I mean, they are right here. I mean, shout out to AI for citing the resources. USA Today, Supreme Court, even NPR. You know, they hate Trump. They hate this man, and they're willing to admit it. So why don't you know this? Hold on. How does NPR know, but you don't know? Shoot, how does USA Today know, but you don't know? How Supreme Court actually posted this and you don't know? Oh, because you don't actually follow this stuff. You just believe the lies that they tell you. Okay, I got you. But all right, back to it.
One issue. No, we'll stand shoulder to shoulder.
Yeah,
all day long.
I wish there were more people like you who were.
Are you sure?
Oh, I'm weak. He says, ain't gonna address my chat. I'll pay for your answer. Oh, well, shoot. What was your chat, my friend? What was your chat? And shout out to my man, Daniel Castro. He says, they have a concept of an idea. Guys, you see this? Yeah, I know, right? Like, concept of an idea. Man, I mean, shoot, it's worse than the concept of a plan. But I mean, my man said, all right, well, shoot, let me know. Let me know what your question is, man. I'll be happy to engage with it. And shout out to my man, Luke. He said, what's the difference between Trump and a two-time offender wife beater? Trump never got arrested for beating two women. Hey, let's go. Nah, let's go. Let's go. That was a banger. That's a banger. Come on, guys. You got to admit, that was pretty good.
This is the May Day movement. We will stay. We have allies left and right. We will stand shoulder to shoulder with anyone who shares our mission to impeach and remove the President of the United States.
Well, I can't say I share your conviction, but I appreciate you chatting with me. Have a good day.
Who are you? We're the savior. You need to reach out.
But unfortunately, most people won't talk to me because he tells them not to.
Do you have a day job? I'm just wondering.
This is my day job.
You're causing trouble?
I'm not causing trouble. What trouble am I causing?
You're looking.
Huh?
You're looking to cause.
I'm not. I'm looking for discussions with people.
I'll come over to your house and talk to you about it.
I live very far away.
Whoa.
I can
No, we're not gonna hang out in my house. I don't leave.
They sound like nice people, but all right, now we'll get back to this. Let's get into lefties losing it. Somebody literally said, oh, if you don't read the AI thing, I mean, like, I just showed you where the AI got it from. Like, here's the thing. Like I said, who will you guys believe? Because I could bring up the Supreme Court docket, and you guys still won't believe it. Like, I could bring up Supreme Court justices themselves saying, yeah, we agreed to. I could bring up news articles saying that, yes, the Supreme Court ruled in their favor. You could look at, I said USA Today. I gave you guys resources, and you don't even use them. You guys say we don't got resources. I give you the resource. You don't even bother to use it. So what the hell you guys talk about resources for? You guys don't have resources yourselves. When we give you resources, you don't even bother to use it. That is almost disrespectful. Almost. If it wasn't so damn entertaining.
Good evening and welcome to a program devoted entirely to lefties losing it. Let's start with one of our favourites, Dylan Mulvaney, who has made a career out of mocking what he calls girlhood. And despite causing more than $1 billion worth of damage and almost destroying Bud Light with an endorsement, he is now promoting another iconic brand, Versace.
You know what? Because I'm petty, and I know I'm petty. I am. But NPR, what did NPR say? Supreme Court backs Trump in controversial deportation case? Wait, when did this come out? April 7th, 2025? Dang, that's crazy. NPR said it. I mean, come on now, guys. Do I need to go like further into this? Do I really need to be a dickhead? Well, why not? Why not? You know what, man? Let's go into USA Today, man. Shout out to USA Today. Supreme Court debates Trump's effort to limit. Oh no, wrong one. But this is also something going on today. But yes, we got NPR. We got the Supreme Court dockets here. I can go ahead and bring that up if you want me to. I mean, do y'all really want to do this? Do you guys really want to sit here and get proven wrong over a Supreme Court case that you could literally Google, look up? I mean, okay, cool. You don't want to believe Google AI? Fantastic. Well, look at Google AI sources. It tells you. All right. Or use your own favorite AI. I mean, if you don't want to use AI, then just look it up yourself. I mean, like I said, if you don't want to believe my sources, go ahead. I mean, I don't care. I don't care. But the facts are right in front of you. You just don't want to believe it. And that's the funniest part about it. But yes, NPR says this. And we also got the Supreme Court docket here as well. But hey, let's get right back to the comedic. Let's get back to the comedic interlude because we need some funny moments here. Because the other video was getting a little serious. It was getting a little serious. Damn, man, I wanted to punch bro for him.
Good evening and welcome to a program devoted entirely to lefties losing it. Let's start with one of our...
The call-in lines are open for members and supporters of this stream. So if you supported this stream at least once, you are eligible to call in, man. Just go ahead and head into the post tab on the main page, on the S.E.T Media main page, and you'll be able to come right on in.
Our favourites, Dylan Mulvaney, who has made a career out of mocking what he calls girlhood. And despite causing more than $1 billion worth of damage and almost destroying Bud Light with an endorsement, he is now promoting another iconic brand, Versace.
So pretty. I've never seen you in that dress.
Yes, I'm sure they'll have the ladies flocking to buy those overpriced Versace garments. Well done, Donatella. Let's check in on a protest that took place in recent days where masked anti-Israeli activists stormed Columbia University, taking over the library. They may have learned something in there. Well, they weren't interested in sticking around in the library. Too much knowledge there. It wasn't long before they were trying to escape with shouts of "Let us out, let them out." But security wanted to see ID before allowing the protesters to leave.
What the heck?
Remember the days when you needed to have an IQ above room temperature to attend university? Now the most dangerously dumb seem to be recent graduates. I mean, where else will you hear something this silly?
Let's say you had to pick a country in the Middle East to live in. What country would you choose?
I would say Iran, but I know that it's not the best for women. Probably Iran, yeah.
Yeah. They want to live in an Islamist hellhole where women are second-class citizens. Let's see what other profound insights these two have to provide.
Are you guys also Free Palestine?
Yes. Yes.
Okay, so what is your favorite Free Palestine chant?
From the river to the sea, Palestine will be free.
Do you guys know what river and what sea that chant refers to?
Like the Mediterranean. I don't know. I'm gonna guess the Arabian Sea.
And what river?
I don't know river names, but I know it's the one that's near there.
Let's hear from President Trump now, diagnosing another Democrat, Chuck Schumer this time with TDS, Trump Derangement Syndrome. Watch here as J.D. Vance cracks up. He's trying not to crack up, but he's losing that battle. Trump really is the funniest president.
If you don't, and the Democrats are fighting it only because they want to fight. They have Trump derangement syndrome. You know, if it was somebody else, they wouldn't fight. If you had a normal person, if you had some stiff sitting behind you, they'd be fine. But they have Trump derangement syndrome. You know, Senator Schumer's become a Palestinian. Welcome. I don't know when they're going to give him the ceremony, whatever the ceremony may be. It's terrible what's happened to the Democrats.
Now to the ladies of The View, who are joined by former President Joe Biden.
I mean, effortless grilling right after getting that UK deal. I mean, he had every right to do so because, you know, nobody's coming to the table. These tariffs were a bad idea. Who's going to work with the U.S. now? Why would anybody trade with us now? Well, surprise, surprise, huh?
And his wife, Dr. Jill, and good Lord, it was a sickly, sycophantic love fest.
I miss being here. We are beyond happy to have you here for today for a lot of different reasons. But my question is, how are you?
Be right back, chat.
Looked like he was falling asleep there. Biden did struggle through the program with help from his handler, his wife, Dr. Jill, and he was not above engaging in more divisive rhetoric, painting America as inherently racist and sexist. Apparently, that's the only reason Kamala lost.
But I was surprised. I wasn't surprised because they went the route of the sexist route, the whole route. I mean, this is a woman, she's this, she's that. I mean, it really, I've never seen quite a successful and a consistent campaign undercutting the notion that a woman couldn't lead the country and a woman of mixed race.
Yes, he really said that. And he also seems to think that he would have beaten Donald Trump if he hadn't dropped out. I mean, there is delusional and then there's this.
Knowing what you know now, do you think you would have beat him?
Yeah, he's still got 7 million fewer votes.
Yes.
There you go. Okay. A lot of people didn't show up.
Mm-hmm.
Number one. Number two, they're very close in those toss-up states. It was it wasn't a slam dunk, and so look. Every time I've been on the show, which I've been fortunate to be on more than once. Thanks for having me. Is that we talk? You guys don't focus on as much, and I think it's good on polling numbers. But let me put it this way: he's had.
And all right, now, man, shout out to my man AJ joining us. How you doing, brother?
Hey, how's it going, man? I'm doing good. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
All right, awesome. I said let me jump in just to see who's coming in because last time you had I forgot homeboy's name, but you guys were having a cool debate and I kind of wanted to jump in, but I didn't. I was hoping he came tonight.
Oh, you mean the guy was talking about the vaccines?
Yes, sir.
Oh man, well, you had some disagreements with him, or did you agree?
No, definitely disagreements. Like I just felt like the points you were making, you were clearly like proving him wrong. Like he didn't, it's like they come with a lot of feelings and not a lot of facts. So I was like, I kind of wanted to jump in. Although I felt like it would have been a little unfair because we both probably would have said the same things or had the same positions.
Yeah. Now, to be honest, the man hit me with two logical fallacies. He did try to appeal to emotion by, bringing up black people and all that. But then I found out he was black too. I was like, all right, I'll let you have that.
That I ain't gonna lie, that threw me for a loop.
But that threw me too. I was like, whoa, really? So
when the camera came on, I was like, oh, what's up there, brother?
What the dreads
brother, man? You feel me? Looking like a young Bob Marley.
That's all I was like, respect to the man. And then the second one was the straw man. Like I said, I was talking about COVID-19. Then he said, oh, well, you don't trust no vaccines. I was like, hold on now. Like that wasn't the argument.
Listen, it's, how I made the comment that they don't, or they're brainwashed it's mostly because of like people like him. Cause he sounds like a young, smart, intelligent black man, but But the idea that he's, saying or just repeating is, just false. It's just it was something he trusts those people. They told him what to say, and now he looks like clownish on your live because he's listening to them. And that part I have sympathy for them or
Yeah.
empathy.
And trust me, I just let my know. First, he was cooking at first. He was
Mm.
cooking in the beginning, and then as soon as he hopped on vaccines, that's when he kind of sunk himself. Because I was agreeing with him on the whole Israel thing. I was like, I was letting him cook because I was like, bro, we're in agreement with that one. But then when he hopped on the vaccines, like, you guys don't trust vaccines, like, I was like, whoa, my man, no, this is about the COVID vax, and he was not trying to hear that.
Yeah, it's Wuhan lab, not meat market bat head. That
Yeah.
it's not that complicated.
But
Really.
that's the thing. Every time we talk about it, they think we're talking conspiracy. Like you said, we're talking Wuhan lab, but they think we're talking about the meat market bat heads.
Oh man, it's like to me. So my if I had to say one thing that I don't like about what's been like, I've been enjoying the fact that like after the election, many people have been we've been winning most of the talking points, or just people have been coming our way, even if they don't want to admit it. I think when you look at what happened with I can never say homeboy's name, the MS-13.
Oh, Kilmar Garcia.
Maryland, yeah,
Yeah.
homeboy. Like so he like after that happened, I think a lot of people that supported them just kind of like shut it in, just went like, you know what? They realized like, yeah, I can't defend this. Like,
Yeah, it's like you're
go
like I'm
for it.
losing every talking point.
Yeah. So I'm enjoying it, but also I have a fear. The fear is that like um not enough competition. You know how they say like iron sharpens iron. Like
That's
I would
true.
like for them to be, to be solid too. Like I want them to have a solid part.
Yeah, me too. Honestly, not them just destroy
I
themselves. Because then
don't want a
you're right.
landslide.
It is dangerous to have the Republicans just monopolize the politics because the Dems just sunk themselves. It's either that or a new party would just have to be created.
That's
Like they
possible
literally
too.
ruined the Democratic name. Oh yeah, go ahead. Oh, you accidentally muted yourself.
Give me 1 second. Sorry about that, bro. I'm
Oh no,
still
you're
at
good.
work.
Oh no, you're good. But shoot though. Actually, if you want to, I can just go ahead and get back to you later on. We still got the video right there. Actually, hold on. I'm gonna wait. Go ahead. Wait. Why you go ahead and wait for my man AJ?
The worst 100 days any president's ever had.
Yeah, that's a fact. That's a fact, is it, Joy? The man who managed to solve the ruinous border crisis within weeks of being in office has had the worst 100 days on record. Even old Joe, in his feeble mental state, doesn't really believe that, though he did try to blame his failings on the border on Donald Trump. Listen to this lunacy.
Nah.
He got on the telephone and he called Republicans, do not support it.
Bro. And that's what I'm saying is like you guys were the same people that was saying Trump has no respect. He's not respected even in his own party. But that would be the same people that will say, bro, he has so much respect and he has so much respect. He's able to call up these Republicans and get them to stop a bill. And then we come to find out that we really never needed that bill. We just needed you guys to follow the law.
It's legal. It'll work. It'll make Biden look good. Don't do it. They backed off.
Can't someone be impeached for something like that?
Well,
impeached, that's a new and imaginative reason to impeach Trump for things Biden failed to do. As Donald Trump showed, you did.
And shout out to my man, Bone Uphill. Bone up high. You know what? Shout out to my dog. But appreciate you. I'm gonna call you Bon. All right, Bon. Appreciate you for super chatting in. He says, how is this trash market Biden's fault when it was good under Biden and Trump was taking credit? Whoa. And Supreme Court SCOTUS 9-0 against Trump on Abrego Garcia. No, not against Trump, on the facilitation of his return, which all came down to the it was like a checkmate moment. It all came down to Bukele. the prime minister of El Salvador. So if we call up Bukele and he says, no, I'm not giving you back my citizen, then it is what it is. And then also, now, what you forget to leave, what you're leaving out though in that information is that they ruled in Trump's favor for the Aliens Enemies Act. You know what that means? That the first order is now diminished. Like, it don't even matter no more, because through the Aliens Enemies Act, he's able to send out gang members, which have now been designated terrorist group, out of the country through the Aliens Enemies Act. So, yes, you're right. That hearing came before the hearing, which was, I believe, about maybe like a couple days ago, where the Supreme Court ruled in Trump's favor in terms of the Alien Enemies Act. And what is Obregón Garcia? An MS-13 gang member. According to the Department of Homeland Security in the Prince George Police Department and gang unit, he's a gang member, MS-13. So, but I do, dog, Biden had inflation to like 7 to 9% month after month. Our economy was actually at one of its lowest points, but nobody said anything about it. I could literally show you the proof. I could literally show you the stock market in 2022 and how everybody just hushed up. Nobody said anything. It was at its lowest point. It fell thousands of points, but then everybody was panicking over Trump, though. So trust me, it was like you guys had a selective outrage. And here's the thing, what's going on now in the economy, how everything is up. Yes, this is Trump's fault, and inflation is down. Inflation was up with Biden. Grocery prices was up with Biden. Housing got more expensive under Biden. So I don't know, if you want to call Biden's economy good, then I guess that's just your anecdotal experience. I guess you was out there living it up, and shout out to you. But most people will tell you, my friend, that yeah, things definitely got way more expensive. Most people will tell you.
Didn't need the flawed border bill to fix the border. You just needed a president who knew what he was doing. Unlike.
And all right, man. Shout out to my man Fox Chase. How you doing, big dog?
What's up, bro?
Man, it's all good.
Hey, so I don't know who this Gizmo guy is, but if you want to bring him on, bring him on. I don't know what his beef is, but go ahead. Also, to the guy Bonafide that posted, wasn't when Trump's first term, I don't know if everybody remembers, but didn't everybody say that that was Obama's economy?
Exactly.
That he got? And then now it's not Biden's economy now? I mean,
Bro,
you make that make sense.
Like, bro, let me tell you liberal logic, right? So
Yeah.
it's so crazy. So Trump got the economy good right now, but they say, oh no, that's because of Biden. So by y'all logic, then Biden only had a good economy, which he didn't, but Biden only had a good economy because of Trump. And then when Biden economy went bad, guess who they blamed it on? Well, oh, it's because of Trump's politics. And then when Trump had a good economy, who they blame it on? Oh, it's because he inherited Obama's. So then who Obama get his economy? Like, so what? We're just going to keep going down the line. So who economy really is it then? What is it? George Washington's this whole time?
Yeah, it's whatever fits their narrative, bro. They die on the fucking shittiest hills, you know, and they push the goalposts. I mean, you name it, whatever it is.
It is.
They're
They're
pathetic.
just moving the goalposts. They move the goalposts.
Right.
They straw man. It's crazy. But
yeah,
hey, it is funny. It is funny to hear sometimes.
Yeah. So, but also, like I said, just do a shout out to Gizmo if he wants to jump on. I'll hang in the background.
Gizmo. Yeah, if you want to go ahead and jump on, man, you can go ahead and join us here. We'd love to have you on. You guys can have that back and forth. But I am gonna go ahead and do the 3-minute, rebuttal and reply, because
let's see what his beef is. I don't know why he called me out, but I'll gladly listen to him. But I do normally charge a fee for psychiatric help, so whatever.
I'm weak. Shout out to my man Fox. All right, big dog. I'm gonna have you in the background then. All right, shout out Fox Chase. All right, guys, let's get right to it.
This dude, listen to this incomprehensible gibberish.
All the projects, the benefits. How do you lead the world without having the best infrastructure? How do you lead the world without having the best healthcare in the world? How do you lead the world without having the best education system in the world? How do you lead the world when you don't have that done?
And let's check in with this charming lass. She doesn't have to declare her politics. You know precisely how she votes.
I can help you talk to somebody.
He didn't use his turn signal.
Yep, she on the left. Yeah, she on the left for sure. And shout out my man Foley for gifting 5 memberships, man. Appreciate the support. I'll see if I can go ahead and catch who got those memberships. But in the meantime, we are going to head back into the political hour with my man Jesse Waters. Shout out.
Well, Trump woke up in Qatar this morning and told the Sheikh, last night was fun, but I got to go. The Qatari said, please stay. We have more jets.
I'm done.
Here comes the flyover. Trump said, I love you, but there's someone else. 47 then went to one of the richest countries of all, the United Arab Emirates.
Woo. Dang.
Donald Trump was escorted by an army of BMWs and Mercedes. Nice cars, but we prefer made in America. For the first time in history, Abu Dhabi.
And then where the Cadillac at?
Closed its biggest mosque so Trump could get a private tour. Out of respect, President Trump took his shoes off to walk on the largest handmade carpet in the world. He told reporters he was taken by how beautiful the mosque was. He said, this is an incredible culture. Pure white marble as far as you could see. Then 47 went to the Royal Palace, where he got a hero's welcome.
The women are waving the flags like, yay, America, we might get rights, guys. We might be able to drive a car. Okay, I know, fucked up, but you get the joke.
At this point, Trump's shaken every hand in the Mideast.
I shook more hands than any human being is capable of doing. That was a long deal, and they were big people. But they were starving for love because our country didn't give them love. They gave them a fist bump. Remember the fist bump?
Trump's wrist got so tired from shaking hands, he let Lutnick sign the deal.
And shout out to my man Fernando, man. He sent in 100 for 2 jewels. Hey, appreciate the support, my man. And yes, you can also send gifts as well. I'm not sure if the gifts actually show up on the live stream, but if they do, it's awesome. But they don't show me.
Better be a good deal. It's gonna be good.
Boy, look.
The UAE is investing
I mean, so guys, when these guys want to talk about where's the trade deals, I mean, we got UAE, I mean, we got Qatar, we got Saudi Arabia, we got the UK, we got Ukraine. I mean, this is 5 already, guys. These are 5 deals already. And we got India in the works. Coming soon.
1.4 trillion in America. We're building a huge AI data center in their country. And they lit up their city red, white, and blue to celebrate.
Okay.
But that might have been topped when the royal awarded Trump with his country's highest honor.
I mean, to be honest, him just doing this and creating this type of relationship is like, bro, he might get a Nobel Peace Prize at this point. Like, dog, you done got us cool with the Middle East. We've been talking peace in the Middle East for decades. And this man is doing it within like less than 1 year of his presidency, making it seem oh so easy what we've been trying to achieve for decades.
I'm honored to announce that His Highness Sheikh Mohammed bin Zayed Al Nahyan bestows the Order of Zayed upon President Trump.
Oh yeah, shout out to my man Anonymous. Just email me and I'll go ahead and send you the invite link to the Discord. And yes, you can join the Discord if you're a member. Appreciate the support, guys.
Betting sites have Trump favored to win the Nobel Peace Prize. On this trip, he kind of earned it. America spent trillions trying to bring peace to the Middle East, and now Trump's making them pay us, and they love us. Today, 47 said he's getting close to making a deal with Iran. But if they don't play ball, things could get ugly.
Yes, they can.
Iran's losing friends in the Middle East. Trump's making nice with the bad boys. This plan's been a decade.
It's such a simplistic order. It's like, all right, look, Iran, it's either we get rich with you, you open yourself back up, or we bomb the shit out of you. Either or. But like, come on, we'd rather just get money with you guys.
Kid in the making.
So 8 years ago, it was security, the destruction of ISIS, the Abraham Accords. Now it's prosperity with these incredible deals. The two are inextricably intertwined.
Kellyanne Conway says this is
really on a political summit. Really? No, surprise, surprise.
Two are inextricably intertwined.
Kellyanne Conway says this is peace through wealth, but the prosperity only sizzles if you're on our side.
We don't want India, for instance, continuing to buy weapons from Russia.
Nope.
We obviously want to end the illicit oil trade between China and Iran. We don't want Iran sending drones to Russia. There's a lot of moving parts here, but if you want stability, you need to have stronger ties with some of our partners.
The combination of trade deals and military protection makes us a great partner. India just dropped all tariffs on the United States. After Pakistan knocked down a bunch of their planes, they won't be buying Russian jets anymore. They'll be buying
Hey, and shout out my man Fernando, man. He's been going crazy. He's going crazy with the gifts, my man. He's going crazy. I appreciate the support. Shout out to him. Let's see here. Hey, man, hold on. I got to shout my man out because he is going crazy right now. All right, let's keep it going.
35s. If Iran and Russia don't have anybody on their side, they'll have no leverage. Trump has the keys.
Deals are all about timing. When the time is right, that's when the president is in the room with Putin. But my expectation is imminently.
What does imminently mean?
That's all you're getting.
Putin won't come to the table until Trump's on the other side. It could happen any day.
We'll be leaving tomorrow.
I mean, yeah, it was kind of funny how Zelensky thought he can get Putin to come to Turkey. So, yeah, it was Zelensky who set up that means like, no, I want Putin to meet me face to face, and that's how we'll end the war. Putin said, bro, please, no. No, if Trump ain't there, bro, you ain't got no pool. It's like, go get your daddy.
As you know, almost destination unknown because we're getting close. Could you be here? Could you be there?
No. And shout out to my man, I said I was going to call you Bond. But all right, man, shout out Bond. He says, so Trump was taking credit for Biden's economy, knowing it was going to crash. What happened to all that day one talk? I'm an independent now, by the way. Hey, congratulations. But anyway, though, because I know, hey, at least you ain't on the left. But all right, well, at least you'll at least be more reasonable to what I'm telling you. All right, so Trump was taking credit for Biden's economy. Now, taking the credit for what in Biden's economy? What did Biden economy produce besides high prices and inflation? Like, take credit for what? Because you got to be specific here. What did he take credit for in Biden's economy when Biden literally had the worst economy? So you would have to low-key describe to me, like, all right, hold on. What part of Biden economy was good that Trump took credit for? Like, you would really have to explain that. Because the way I'm seeing it is that Trump kind of undid everything Biden did. Prices are down. Like, bro, look at the consumer price index. Bro, prices are down. Inflation, it's at 2.3. That mug was at 7 under Biden. At 7, sometimes 10, month after month. I don't really think, maybe he said it as a joke or something. I don't know. I'm going to take you at your word. And you said that he was taking credit for all the good parts. And I'm thinking like, bro, what good parts? Where were the good parts? Because he kind of fixed all the bad parts.
But before Trump left the Middle East, he surprised our troops with special guests Lee Greenwood and
yes, prices are down around me. I ain't gonna lie. Like, prices are down. Grocery prices finally fell. I'm like, bro, the man working miracles out here, bro. The man is literally out here working miracles. A little too quick. He's working it a little too quick. It's damn near shocking. Like, even with the whole trade war, I gave it a month that China was gonna fold. Man, I said that, and it happened a week later. I'm like, bro, okay then. I guess it hurt him more than I thought.
Theo Vaughn. Click here to subscribe to the Fox.
Oh yeah, he did bring Theo Von with him, which was hilarious because Theo Von was the one that was talking to him about doing cocaine. But all right, guys, let's get into the details of the
For
Qatar.
concern.
But let's get into the details of the Qatar deal, and I guess why Steven Crowder is not so comfortable with it. And and I ain't gonna lie, this is reasonable suspicion. Reasonable.
This would be cause for concern, to be fair. Now, it doesn't mean.
Hold on, I do got to answer the other part of your question. Like, what happened to all that day one talk? So he's gonna bring down egg prices on day one. Well, bird flu. I mean, come on now. Even the mainstream media finally admitted that it was bird flu why egg prices was so high and not Trump. Now, Ukraine, well, Biden sent long-range missiles to Ukraine, and I'm gonna be quite honest with you. Yeah, I do believe that was probably a mistake for Trump to say day one, because he probably got in there and realized that, oh, okay, this shit's a lot more complicated than I realized. It could be solved, but not day one solved. So I'll always give you libs that one. I'm like, yeah, he probably shouldn't have said that. I'll give y'all that one. But Biden did give these guys long-range missiles, so Biden pretty much prolonged what's his name, Zelensky's ability to fight off Russia. Well, barely fight off Russia, barely.
That we should not have a friendly relationship. It doesn't mean that we shouldn't negotiate. If we know who they are and we know what they're about, okay, keep them at a safe distance, and it would be better to have some investments coming in from them than not. Let's go on to President Trump in the Middle East here, because this has been going on all week. There have been quite a few wins, but there also has been a little bit of misrepresentation out there where I think it's right to try and have sort of a critical eye and see the potential pitfalls. But overall, it's been pretty good. Remember, keep this in context. Before President Trump came into his second term, he was going to bring World War III, right? We all in agreement on that? It was going to be World War III. World was going to end. And certainly the Middle East was ground zero. Everyone thought that's where the war was going to be breaking out, World War III. But on his trip, he's continued and intensified nuclear talks with Iran. We know where he lines up on that. We don't have the details of the private conversations right now.
Like I said, I do guys want to show you guys, well, the market, the Dow Jones, right? And I put it in a month for a reason, because like I said, you guys were complaining, like I said, right here. This is where you guys were complaining at. You guys were losing y'all shit over the 38. But if we really knock it out to about a 5-year span, I always did say, I'm like, so what the hell was this? Like, where was the complaints when this happened? Like, we went from here all the way down to here, and this was under Biden's administration. And I heard no complaints. Not one from the Democratic Party. So I am a bit surprised when you guys do talk about a strong market. But let's go back to the month span. Yes, for the entire month, we are up. Now let's go into our man at the let's go to our people at the S&P 500. Hey, they looking up for the month. Now they still haven't recovered that 6,200, but it's on its way. And then where we got the NASDAQ. Shout out to the NASDAQ. Within a month, the NASDAQ is up as well. It's up as well, but it is down today, though. I will admit that. I do believe it is down today. Let me see. Yeah. It did go down a little bit today. But all right, though. Let's get right back to it. Like what I tell you guys, the market, there was fear mongering on it, guys. And they got some of y'all, and they got some of you guys. Tough. But let's get right back to it.
Moved to normalize relations with Syria and its, according to him, attractive leader.
How did you find the Syrian president?
Right. I think very good. Young, attractive guy. Strong pass. Very strong pass fighter.
Is that working?
But he's got a real shot at pulling it together.
And people are getting mad about this. Let me be really clear. Donald Trump always compliments.
For you guys telling me to show these 6 months, that's actually Biden, right? So if I was to show you the 6 months, right, and this is how crazy you guys sound, because I'm gonna show you it. See, boom, right here, 6 months. Yeah, okay. Now, let me show you the 6 months right here, right? So that's still under the Biden administration, and according to your logic, and now I'm about to pull y'all logic on you like a dickhead, but according to y'all logic, yeah, I mean, this is Trump's fault. I'm just playing. But yeah, when you look at the 6 months, yeah, we're still in the Biden administration. I know we were looking decent, looking all right. And then boom. And then here we go. With Liberation Day. Then we took quite the dip, and then we came right back up. But like I said, what about the 5-year where you guys were all the way down here? Like I said, you dropped them here, to here. No complaints. I mean, if you look at the 5-year, of course, we're up. Oil's going to be up in the 5-year. If you look at the year, for like 1 year away when we were still under Biden, we're up. But I mean, of course, if you want to look at the 6 months, hey, it's always going to show you something. But for most of the top part, looks like we're doing pretty well. It's kind of funny how you went to the 6 months, the only one that's green, the only one that's in the red. I mean, that's very selective. But okay. Hey, I see how you guys play. All right, I see what you did there. He's like, no, I'm gonna go to the one that's red. That's hilarious.
International leaders, to be clear. He did it with Kim Jong-un. He always tries to start off with compliments. So if you have experience, he'd be very good businessman. He was very successful. And with the leader in Syria, he's just down to like, nice mustache. And he's like, hey, looks nice, good tan. So he'll start off with a compliment. Of course, the guy's a terrorist.
That's not making his point, actually. That's actually proving the point that you guys completely annoyed a failing economy, and then you guys pretty much turned around and then want to panic over one dip that Trump had. But you did not complain about that dip that Biden had. Like I said, you guys don't really win any points. I mean, if you guys want to high five each other in the chat, sure. But I mean, when you come out here, you're trying to argue with people who have a difference of opinion. If you want to high five each other in the echo chamber, go ahead. But I mean, go ahead. I love it for y'all. But I mean, you're not really winning any points there. Like I said, I mean, shoot, try to convince the guys in the chat who disagree with you. And then, like I said, and let's be honest, guys. Let's be quite honest. When the market looks even more up, because it's in the upward direction, then what will you guys say? That's what I wonder. When the market goes up and we recovered the loss from, I would say about 6 months ago, then what will you guys say? Because I'm pretty sure you guys are going to be pretty damn silent. Actually, but I do want to show you something, though. Since we want to talk about 6 months, S&P 500, 6 months. I mean, damn, the S&P 500 is doing better under Trump. So, I mean, when you want to sit there and you want to select which one you want to look at, I mean, you can make any point, to be honest. But if you want to be honest with yourself, I mean, we can also go ahead to the NASDAQ. I mean, you see how selective these guys are? He picked the 1 6 month that was in the red out of all the major indexes. Isn't that crazy? Isn't that crazy? I mean, 6 months we're up on the NASDAQs, and 6 months we're up in the S&P, but you picked the one that we weren't up in. The dishonesty is crazy. And like I said, that's what I'm saying. You guys can high five each other, but trust me, you guys aren't gaining no new, I would say this, you're not gaining no new ears.
But he'll start off with a compliment.
Strong fighter, Steven, strong fighter.
That's dangling the carrot.
Hey, look, I kind of let y'all hang yourselves and low key. I let y'all talk, and I kind of let y'all hang yourselves when y'all speak.
Yes, it's a little bit of flattery. And then, he moved on to calling Kim Jong-un fat.
Yes.
And saying that Putin was being childish and bragging about winning World War II. Like, you see, which he did, by the way. He just did again. So you see this with him. He compliments you first.
It's called being a salesman.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's called.
I did it as a daughter to a salesman.
Yeah.
I told some fat housewives, "That's a nice ass you got there. How do you like pork chops?"
And then they found themselves like, I don't need 3 Hoovers, but that guinea was so nice to me. So he's also secured nearly, and there's a little bit more of the numbers, $2 trillion in economic deals.
Dang.
Arabian Trump is wild. Arabian Trump. Oh, I'm sorry, that was too funny. I gotta go back. That was hilarious.
He's getting you Spain. With me, I can't stand no bobbing for fun. This war is complete.
And I want to hear from you. Look, here's one thing. You may like what's going on. You may not. You may have a problem with the plane from Qatar, and I understand that. But what is undeniable is for people who bitched about neocons for a very long, this is the first time we've had something different. You certainly would be hard-pressed to argue against this statement. Democrats, including Barack Obama and certainly Biden, were more neocon than Donald Trump as it related to foreign policy.
Oh, for real.
Is that a good thing? You think maybe we try a different direction? Because, hey, back in the day, I lived in Canada.
And to be honest, I ain't gonna lie. I thought, well, to be honest, Trump was surrounded by damn near all the neocons. So I don't think Trump was gonna be the same. The fact that this man took this direction, I mean, boy, God bless America. Because, woo, I was getting worried. As soon as that stuff popped off with Iran, he said all them Zionists around him. When he moved Mike Waltz, you know, my heart lightened up a little bit. I was like, okay, he got at least the main guy out of there. And then when I heard he kind of came down on Bibi Netanyahu for inserting Mike Waltz or kind of using Mike Waltz as a spy, I smiled. I woke up that morning, I smiled. And shout out to my man Vladstein. Well, let me go ahead. He says, it's funny that you think a man with dementia caused the market to be good. The stock market and 401k is not going to help buy groceries, pay rent, pay for daycare, or for the average American family. Yeah, that is crazy though. I'm like, hold on, I don't know. Hey, for all you know, my man might be like, he might get money like that for real. Like he didn't even notice. For all you know, he might have been in the right corporation at the right time. He's like, what you mean? Everything was good under Biden. I'm like, bruh. I'm like, shoot, I'm okay too, but I ain't gonna sit here and act like, bro, things weren't more expensive. Like I didn't look at the budget and was like, holy shit. Like, hold on, I'm paying $600 more a month? What? Like, yeah, it's true story. I know when I looked over my bills during the Biden administration, I was like, yo, I literally was paying like $600 more, mainly in electric. Tough.
I was more supportive of George W. Bush back then than I am now. Hey, you know what? I was wrong because it turns out there's no changing these countries with these people. And I'm willing to say, you know what? Hey, you guys keep your country over there and we'll keep ours over here. I think it's time to do away with nation building. And that brings us to some Trump wins.
All he do is win because he's Trump. Trump destroying liberal minds. Leave their asses in the dust. Now that he is in, we get back to building this amazing nation. And we gonna stay there.
All right. So before we get to this Wednesday, what went down, do download the Rumble app. If you're watching right now, we do not stream live to YouTube anymore, just here on Rumble, 11 a.m. Weekdays, follow this channel and you get notified when we are live.
Oh God, that was absolutely hilarious.
You don't get a so Wednesday in Doha, President Trump signed a new economic agreement with, and I feel
you're pissed off about this.
Like there's a trap with this. No matter how I say it, someone's going to say wrong. Qatar, and then people like it's Qatar, and then you'll see in this video they go Qatar. I don't even know what they're saying, and I don't care. But $1.2 trillion secured in economic agreements.
It is my honor to announce the signing of a joint declaration of cooperation between the state of Qatar and the United States of America.
Just think cat turds.
Signed on behalf of the state of Qatar by His Highness Sheikh Tamim bin Hamad Al Thani, Emir of the state of Qatar, and the Honorable Donald J. Trump, President of the
rolling the
United
R's
States
at the
of
end.
America.
Anna Navarro?
Yes.
That's the pen.
I'm waiting for the desk to explode.
So, well, don't worry, we'll get to that.
My pager's going off. It's Netanyahu's people.
So a couple of things here. People are saying $2 trillion. So according to the White House, the deal is going to generate $1.2 trillion in economic exchange, including about $250 billion or so in economic deals. All right. And the Qatari prime minister even clarified that this would take place. It's good. But people on social media saying $2 trillion immediately. Well, that's not accurate. The Qatari prime minister said this is going to take place over 10 years. And I will say, Qatar, for one of the prominent terrorist supporting organizations, countries in the world, they put a good face on it.
Well, basically, it's very simple. 1.2 trillion is the expected value of the economic partnership between the two countries for the next 10 years. And this is basically either it will be through an investment, the sovereign wealth fund, which is the commitment that QIA is going to do throughout the next few years.
So the deal includes...
Hold on, he said over 10 or 20 years. I gotta, like, what did he say?
Of the economic partnership between the two countries for the next 10 years. And this is basically either it will be through.
All right, so that's $112 billion a year. They'll be investing yearly to get into, well, for 10 years straight, they'll be investing $120 billion. Man, okay, still.
The investment, the sovereign wealth fund, which is the commitment that QIA is going to do throughout the next few years.
So the deal includes $1 billion to Raytheon for a drone defense system, potentially $38 billion as far as an investment at the Ul Udeid Air Base, $97 billion in contracts for Parsons Engineering, $96 billion in orders from Qatar Airways, including 130 787s from Boeing, some other Boeing aircraft. They also have They have 50 additional Boeing aircraft, 30 Boeing 7779 aircraft, because Islamists have never done anything bad with an airplane.
I mean, it's a pretty damn good point. I mean, fucked up as hell, but it's a good point.
Well, that wasn't really even a sketch. That was just a sad historical incident.
Yeah. Way to take the worst moment of my childhood and
well, I think it makes a point. I stand by it. So, some potential problems.
Good point.
With these deals. Look, Qatar is not a pro-freedom, certainly not an America First type nation. They do have interests that are diametrically opposed to ours sometimes. So since 2017, we've talked about China quite a bit. We have to call balls and strikes. References are all available. Link in the description. They've spent nearly $100 billion trying to influence the United States.
Yeah.
So when people talk about APEC, and yep, it's a problem. It's the only one that lobbies, the only organization that lobbies on behalf of a foreign nation. Just lobbying from Qatar, $224 million. Universities, the last number I gave you was $2 billion. We have an updated number. Since 2017, $6.3 billion spent in influencing universities. Investments, weapons, there's another $60 billion there. And there are a few President Trump cabinet members who've worked on behalf of Qatar, receiving lavish salaries, including Pam Bondi.
Kash Patel was a consultant for Qatar.
Wells, Kash Patel, to varying degrees. So my thing is this: if you have a problem with lobbyists, if you have a problem with foreign interests, if you think that there are people who sort of dwell in the swamp, okay, well, this would be cause for concern, to be fair. Now, it doesn't mean that we should not have...
To be fair, no, for real. It's like, but I'm not really looking at Trump crazy. I'm kind of looking at Kash Patel kind of crazy right now. But Kash Patel hasn't really been doing his thing. I mean, bro, there's a lot of things this man should be on top of. He's supposed to be on a declassification spree. He's supposed to be giving us all these unclassified documents left and right. But him and Pam Bondi is held up on other things. Lord knows what.
Have a friendly relationship. It doesn't mean that we shouldn't negotiate. If we know who they are and we know what they're about, okay, keep them at a safe distance, and it would be better to have some investments coming in from them than not, right? That sort of money clarifies. Yes.
Keep your friends close, but your enemies close.
We need to get Josh to do the. I like his
voice
Godfather.
is so good.
You're right. I was lazy on that one.
I like Josh's.
Nice.
What about you?
Hey.
Yeah. Like, I don't know who it is unless he has the hands.
It's like a Pizza Hut commercial.
I like it. I'm a deep dish guy. So,
but right, keep your friends close, but your enemies close.
Yeah,
sort of.
There's also the issue of the plane.
Yeah,
which the Qatar Prime Minister discussed with a CNN reporter who is a Sharon Stone lookalike.
Can we take a moment to get to the bottom of this offer by Qatar of a multi-million-dollar Boeing 747
There's no good way to say
it to President Trump? When did your government first start talking to the US?
I like that smile.
About
no, me neither.
This aircraft, and who broached the subject first? Was it the US or was it Qatar?
Well, actually, it's I know that there were a lot of speculations about this topic. I don't know what is the reason that instigate this. This is a very simple government-to-government dealing when Ministry of Defense and Department of Defense are still exchanging the possibility of transferring of one of our 747s -8 to be used as Air Force One, and it's still under the legal review. So there is nothing really. I don't know what was like, why it became like so big as a news that this is something that considered in a very strange way.
Now he seems a little flustered. Yeah, right. He seems like he's Eddie Haskell'ing it a little. The female interviewer in question taunting him, at least violating Islamic decorum. Yeah, you can't do that over there.
You said Sharon Stone. I thought he looked like Governor Newsom.
A little bit.
Or Gordon Gecko.
Less.
Oh, there you go. Yeah.
Yes, she does.
good.
She does.
Greed is good. I agree. We have no problem. No qualms for me.
Oh, the Falcon teaches the Falconer.
I don't judge a man's character by the size of his wallet.
Oh, I love that.
Oh, you're
line.
doing Sheen. Okay. So, were you about to say something there, Joe?
I was about to say, look, with Qatar, I understand the problem. Listen, I lean towards not trusting them. I don't think they're our friend. With the airplane, he shouldn't be accepting a gift like that. And hopefully what happens is he's letting them save face through a legal review, basically saying, I would have taken it, but the legal review, so he doesn't offend them.
Right.
I hope that's the way that we go. But Qatar has their hands in so many things in the Middle East right now. They seem to be kind of the broker of all these different relationships. And some of that's really bad because they're putting up the Hamas leader's face on a building whenever he died, and so it's looked like, oh, okay, well, you're promoting Hamas. And then on the other hand, this is where we're going to negotiate and try to find these solutions in these countries. So
exactly. I did not, and that's what I hated about people's criticism of Qatar. Like, oh, they house Hamas and all that good stuff. I'm like, well, they do this so they can host these negotiations that you guys want with Hamas, right? So it is a bit weird how you're just like hardlining on the whole Hamas thing when it comes to Qatar. But then the whole reason why we're even able to talk to these guys or negotiate anything with Hamas is because, well, of Qatar.
I don't like the ties to Qatar or really any other country like that. But I'm just wondering, what is Donald Trump going to do?
I don't like it either. But I mean, we can say thank you for helping us get our hostage back. So it is what it is on that note.
Do with this? Is he going to be manipulated by this, or is he using it for his own benefit? So far, seems like it's our benefit.
Well, I do think that it is important to note the difference in Donald Trump's approach in foreign policy. Look, for example, you go back to Code Pink, you go back to Rosie O'Donnell, people talking about in the Middle East, right? Donald Trump, when he was speaking in Saudi Arabia, he gave a landmark speech. Basically saying the way forward is we're not going to tell you how to live your life so long as you don't try and do that here with us. If we know that there's no threat, and we keep ourselves safe, we need to be done with nation building, right? That was the basis of a lot of these wars. And I'll tell you this, back then, I was relatively pro war in Iraq, and that's because I was Canadian and everyone just talked about how they hated America, so I had to be a contrarian. But not because of I would say it's a lapse in judgment now, not because of the WMDs. Those existed, by the way, just not nuclear weapons. You can read about it in the New York Times. Because there's no winning. There's no winning in these other nations. That really is. So the best we can do is, okay, if we're not going to do that, let's try and let you know that you can have your way of life so long as you don't try and intrude on ours. That means being tough on terrorism, but we're going to take a different approach. And by the way, he steals this issue from the left.
I mean, let's be honest. I think I said this earlier in the video. I'm okay, bro. They can live however they want to. Just cut the terrorist BS and we're good. Like, we can all be friends. Just cut the terrorist bullshit and everything's going to be good with us. And, keep the money flowing in, of course, because, I mean, we love that. We definitely love the billions upon billions of dollars you guys are putting into the economy. And, the trade deal we get to tout in the, in the liberals' face. So we do appreciate that one as well. So, Qatar, UAE, Saudi Arabia, good looks. You done made the argument a whole lot easier now. I mean, you done gave us all these trade deals, and now we can just sit there in the Dems' face with the ha-ha. Like, what did we tell you?
Because they weren't doing what Donald Trump is. They were calling them freedom fighters. So just 2 days ago.
And should I have last thing he says, so history can accept a Trojan horse, but not a modern day plane? Athens, democracy, hypocrisy. What the fuck? Yeah, I'm weak. Like, as soon as the plane land, a whole bunch of Qataris hop out on bullshit. Like, and they're just popping out on that. Where is it at here? I wonder if I still got that sound effect. Here it is.
Silence! I kill you!
Here we have a clip. Saudi Arabia. He gave this speech making really clear the departure from our foreign policy path that we've been taking.
Before our eyes, a new generation of leaders is transcending the ancient conflicts of tired divisions of the past and forging a future where the Middle East is defined by commerce, not chaos, where it exports technology, not terrorism, and where people of different nations, religions, and creeds are building cities together, not bombing each other out of existence. We don't want that.
And shout out to my man Foley. He's like, here's $2 from Vlad coming in hot.
Great transformation has not come from Western interventionists or flying people in beautiful planes giving you lectures on how to live and how to govern your own affairs. In the end, the so-called nation builders wrecked far more nations than they built, and the interventionists were intervening in complex societies that they did not even understand themselves. Peace, prosperity, and progress ultimately came not from a radical rejection of your heritage, but rather from embracing your national traditions and embracing that same heritage that you love so dearly.
They didn't even care. They didn't even care that song was made by gay people, and they hate gay people. I'll be real with you. They do, and they probably still do, but they played it for Trump, though. They played it for Trump. That's real respect. But all right, guys, let's go ahead and just move on over into Conspiracy Hour. If I can go ahead and locate said video that I had for Conspiracy. Oh, here it is. Perfect.
Well, the Diddy trial is prosecuting the wrong case, and there's something fishy going on with Red Lobster's bankruptcy.
And all right, guys, we're about to get into shrimp farming slavery. I know, right? You heard me right. Shrimp farming slavery.
Also, some of you might be wondering who the hell I am. So today we're going to take you all the way back to the first story I ever covered on TikTok, where I exposed that there's poison in the baby food. We'll also respond to some of your comments. Welcome back to Candace.
Shout out to the man Ian Carroll. I mean, the newest member of the Anti-Semitic League, joining in with Candace Owens and Nick Fuentes.
Food. A specific kind of food that most of you probably eat, but you probably never realize that this food has a serious dark side. And I'm speaking, obviously, about shrimp. Endless shrimp, to be exact. Last May, Red Lobster filed for bankruptcy. And at the time, I had mistakenly assumed that it was because of mismanagement in some sort of private equity buyout, like all the other cool kids these days. But it turns out that that's old news. Private equity had already been there and done that way back in 2014, when Red Lobster had been bought out by Golden Gate Capital. And what did they immediately do? Well, if you watched our show yesterday, you would know that they sold off all of Red Lobster's real estate in a lease-back scheme, much like Toys R Us and all sorts of other brands before them. They actually used this leaseback scheme to finance their initial purchase of Red Lobster, like a leverage buyout that we already talked about. But color me surprised when I looked up who owns Golden Gate Capital. It was founded by former professionals from private equity firm Bain Capital and its affiliate, Bain & Company, led by former Bain Capital partner David Dominic. So you remember?
And shout out to my man Vlad. Said Athens killed Socrates over different thought, and you call democracy freedom loving. Thank God for our constitutional republic with a Bill of Rights. And oh God, shout out America.
Remember how last time we talked about how Bain Capital was the private equity arm and Bain & Company was the consulting arm, and they would never work together, right? But not only that, when you look up the real estate company that they partnered with in the deal, later that same year, 2014, they got busted for a little $23 million accounting error. This is coming from a couple different sources online, as well as Wikipedia to summarize it all for us. The company was formerly known as American Realty Capital Properties, Inc., and it changed its name after an accounting scandal. Its name was derived from the Latin word veritas, meaning truth. In October 2014, the company admitted to $23 million accounting error and fired Chief Financial Officer Brian Block. Lawsuits allege that insiders received over $900 million in fees from the company. In December 2014, Schorsch resigned as chairman. Remember, 2014, right around the time that they had just bought back all these properties from Red Lobster. That's when they were doing this whole accounting error. In July 2015, the company changed its name to VEREIT, Verite. In September 2019, certain defendants agreed to pay $1.025 billion. So that's a little bit of a whoopsies. But anyways, we're getting distracted. Back to Endless Shrimp. Endless Shrimp led to an $11 million operating loss in Q4 of 2023. There was also the fact that when parties arrived at Red Lobster looking to pig out on a barge full of endless shrimp, they simply wouldn't leave. Burke's experience serving a man who put away 16 servings over the course of 2 hours was actually mild compared with some of the other stories I've heard.
Damn.
Josie, 19, who also asked to be anonymous.
Nah, some of them took that home. Some of them had to take that home. Not they down in pounds of, well, fried shrimp.
Super anonymous. Worked at a now shuttered Kansas City Red Lobster, where she watched a solo diner take down 30 orders of fried shrimp within 4 hours. According to the nutritional information on Red Lobster's website, that's something like 14,000 calories. Bulking season. But if you read enough headlines and you quickly start to realize there is a shrimpspiracy afoot. And that's because...
And you know what's so crazy? I do remember when Red Lobster came out with the endless shrimp. I never participated in it because, you know, it's kind of like I kind of distrusted it. Like it's kind of like when Burger King came out with the what was it with 10 nuggets for like $1. Yeah, as soon as you start making something a little bit too cheap, I start wondering how you're able to, you know, give this service without cutting corners or doing some very unsanitary things. Yeah, I know when things get a little too cheap, you know, you gotta be a little weary.
Red Lobster was bought in its entirety by a company named Thai Union. Thai Union owned Red Lobster and is actually under investigation for its role in this whole debacle. That's because Thai Union not only owns 100% of Red Lobster, but was also historically a large-scale supplier to the chain. Just before this promotion, they eliminated all other shrimp suppliers. Thai Union is one of the world's largest shrimp suppliers, as well as all sorts of other seafood like canned tuna. And I can only presume that their goal with Red Lobster was never to run a successful restaurant company, but instead to perform the world's first shrimp-based bust-out scheme. Because remember, the Red Lobster company had already been looted by private equity before Thai Union bought it. So unless Thai Union is dumb, when they bought it, they already knew that Red Lobster was in big trouble. And when they owned it, what did they do? They cut off all the other shrimp suppliers and turned themselves into the sole provider of shrimp, and then offered this crazy deal where Red Lobster tanked on buying endless shrimp from Thai Union. And when you dig into Thai Union's most recent financial statements, they own 62 different seafood companies around the world, many of them specifically shrimp farms, packing, and distribution companies. But when you add up all the companies they own more than 25% of, that number jumps up to 76. Thai Union Group is the world's largest seafood company and ranked #1 in the food production industry on Dow Jones Sustainability Index, which might be true as long as slavery isn't one of their metrics, because this report was produced by Sustainability Incubator just last year about the rampant human rights abuses in the shrimp industry. Thai Union is mentioned numerous times, often referencing their subsidiary Chicken.
People don't know that we got like 50 million slaves today. There's 50 million people who are enslaved.
Of the Sea, which is one of the US's largest retail seafood suppliers. The report points out that at the prices paid per kilogram in these source countries, it's literally impossible that slave labor and exploitation aren't involved in the supply chain. Based on their analysis, average monthly earnings for shrimp peelers are the lowest in India. Yeah, I'm not sure what happens to Ecuador between where the shrimp are cheap. Yeah, I'm not sure what happens to Ecuador between where the shrimp are cheap and where the wages are recorded. Like maybe they're not even paying wages in Ecuador. I don't know. But suffice to say, it's probably not too good of an industry to be dealing with shrimp in Ecuador. This isn't just some harebrained theory that Sustainability Incubator cooked up. You might not have noticed the massive scandal that rocked the shrimp industry a decade ago, but we're going to dive all into it today. But before we detail the modern shrimp slave trade, I want to read to you a bit from the book, The Secret Life of Groceries. Because you see, shrimp were notoriously hard to farm or domesticate. When put in farming conditions, their sexual development gets stunted by stress, and females just don't develop ovaries for reasons we don't entirely understand. And the book goes into this in pretty interesting detail. And then stuff gets...
If you take them out their natural habitat, bad things happen. Like, I mean, it seems like a pretty easy problem to fix. Put them back in their natural habitat and they'll perform naturally. You take them out of there, then they'll perform unnaturally.
It's really wild. The single great breakthrough came in a fittingly bizarre and brutal manner. Then, as now, those trying to make aquaculture work raised their shrimp in overcrowded tubs. And as their shrimp swam around and around in circles in these tubs, their outside eye would rub against the side of the tank. And slowly, after God knows how many circles and God knows what type of...
Hey, shout out to my man AJ says, I'm tapping out set. I'll pull up Saturday for you. Hey, man, appreciate the support, man. Hey, shout out to my man AJ. Appreciate you coming up, dog.
Crowded environment, the outermost eyeball of the outermost shrimp in these tubs would eventually get rubbed right off, erased by friction. And from this misery, an industry was born. It turns out that for as of yet biologically unexplained reasons, a female shrimp who loses a single eyeball gets fast-tracked through puberty, her ocular loss unleashing a cascade of hormones that begets ovaries in as little as 3 days. This was not predictable, nor does it fit with some grand anatomical theory of shrimp endocrinology.
So basically, you rip the eye off a female shrimp and it starts, well, I guess it goes through puberty? Yeah. So then they just start, manually ripping eyes off shrimps. Huh.
But it is very real. And some supremely attentive farmer noticed it and began snipping eyeballs off by hand in an attempt to replicate it. Soon, the process went mainstream. It was studied and verified in the lab, and although nobody could quite explain eye stalk ablation, the quirky stride of science skipped merrily forward, pushing shrimp aquaculture into a new age. So, as this practice was invented in the 70s, Thailand was one of the world's leading shrimping industries because of the waters around Thailand. But now there was surging demand, and so they needed laborers to fill it. Fortunately for the Thai shrimping industry, Burma is right next door. You might know it as Myanmar or Burma, depending on what time period your history book was written. There are no shortage of refugees trying to escape to Thailand from Burma, Myanmar, for a better life. There has been civil wars and coups and bloodshed in Burma since before most of us were born. And this book, The Secret Life of Groceries, tells the story of a specific person who became a fisherman, not by choice, who came from Myanmar to Thailand looking for a better life and wound up as a slave to the shrimping industry. Bit of reference on where he's coming from. There's no simple frame of reference for rural Myanmar at this time. It's feudal and corrupt, trapped in time without electricity, running water, or paved roads, yet bedecked with assault rifles. Tun Lin doesn't grow up with a floor, but does remember his father's M16 leaning against the walls of their hut. Transportation to the front is largely on ox-drawn carts. The country at this time is in perpetual civil war between the government and the communists, between small mercenary armies funded by industrialists and rival tribes, between ethnicities and religions in the different subregions, all of whom ally with each other and disband and realign to create chaos. He leaves his home village without telling anyone, bringing 3 t-shirts, 3 pairs of pants, 1 blanket, and the shoes he is wearing. He doesn't have a proper bag, so he uses a plastic one. He crosses the border at the town of Mewati, and it's easy. He does it all by himself without a broker or a snakehead, just a matter of hitching a ride and dashing across a river a few meters down from the official checkpoint. When I visit Mewati 18 years later, I see several people doing the exact same thing. From there, he walks up the steep bank and emerges on the Thai side of the border into a town called S.E.T. He's all alone. The reality of being in Thailand, of the language being different, of knowing absolutely no one, hits home. And as that reality hits, a broker waves to him. Tun Lin says it seemed like he was waiting for him. The broker is about 40 years old, his eyes smart and handsome, dressed in a blue long-sleeve shirt that is clean. So Tun Lin approaches and the broker asks him in Burmese, "Where would you like to go?" And Tun Lin says simply, "Thailand," not totally realizing he's already in Thailand. The broker says that doesn't matter and puts his arms around him. The two of them walk back to a 2-story brick house in S.E.T. They walk side by side like they are on a date. The whole time, they talk in Burmese about Thailand. Tun Lin is very excited. The broker is laying out a future, telling him about the different cities in Thailand, the resorts in the south, the skyscrapers in Bangkok, the factories in Samut Sakhon, and of course, he's telling him all about the jobs.
Telling him to drink.
The first thing he's told when sitting on the floor in this hut, he is very lucky. One of the migrants near him explains that Tun Lin has come at a very good time. It has been hard at the house. Some people have been waiting on the floor for over a week, but Tun Lin learns he should be very excited because the next day they are set to leave. True to his word, the next morning the broker arrives. He tells them they are going to Chiang Mai, a city in the north, but he tells the group that the police are looking for migrants. They are making his job very difficult and dangerous. He explains that the military is pulling vehicles to the side and checking papers. So, to get to Chiang Mai without being arrested, they will have to go it by foot. It is a 210-mile trek through a jungle over several mountains during the heart of the rainy season. Tunlin does not know this because the broker does not say this. The broker does not take any questions or explain anything beyond how they are to leave town without attracting attention. Tunlin is just excited to start. It rains continuously the first day of the walk, and quickly the group begins to break down. Many were sick and starving before leaving. Every night, they sleep outside, huddled in groups under trees or in small caves and overhangs in the mountain areas. The only food comes at 2 checkpoints per day, where the guide has arranged for meals to be stashed. Each of these meals is identical: tinned mackerel in tomato sauce. It is not 1 man per can. Tunlin says they split cans 3, 4, or 5 people per can. Tunlin estimates that a group of 100 people left the house.
Emotional damage.
Oh yeah, that's tough.
The end of this trip, he knows for a fact that he saw 6 people die of hunger or disease. Once they get onto a truck, they sit in rows so tightly packed it is hard to breathe. Then the door is closed. It is dark. No one speaks. Tunlin is not on one of the benches, but sitting on the floor with his knees tucked to his chest. He closes his eyes and tries not to think. Estimating from a map, driving with no traffic, their trip lasts 12 hours. He tells me there are no rest stops and that people cannot control themselves and they urinate and defecate in the truck. When they arrive, the back of the truck is open and they are told to get out. One by one, they unfold. People are crying. A woman near Tunlin has died. She was suffocated or crushed. Tunlin does not know which. Only that he sat so close to her the entire trip and that he had not thought about her.
I mean, damn. So, I don't even want to repeat it, bro, because they was just doing all types of nasty stuff in there, and I'm not even talking about that nature. I mean, defecating in there, and then you hop out, and then one of the women die. I mean, what the hell? And bro just pulled up to find a new opportunity, end up in slavery. It's crazy. Like he was looking for new opportunity. Instead, he found slavery. It's like, bro, for real, that's tough. That's tough.
Once he gets put onto a boat, which he did not ask to be on, he cannot eat because he is seasick and throws everything up, and he is not allowed to sleep. This continues for 3 days. It is at this point the captain puts out the big canisters of instant coffee for the crew to eat. Yes, to eat, not to drink. On the 4th day, doing work he does not understand among men who speak languages like Khmer and Lao, he can only partially communicate with, nauseated, starving, exhausted, Tunlin says he becomes physically unable to continue working, and so he stops and goes to the crawl space to take a nap. This is his first beating. The captain finds him asleep. He then wakes Tunlin up with a weapon. My translator insists on calling a yo-yo. It is a steel ball on an elastic cord, and he swings it at Tunlin, catching him across the face, then repeatedly on the shoulders. Tunlin shows me his scars. He says he has beaten many times over the years, but he will always remember this first one. Tunlin says he is not beaten again after this. The captain merely has to point at this yo-yo for Tunlin to increase the speed of his work, until after waiting 6 months, he makes the mistake of asking for the salary he was promised, because that's how they got him onto the boat, saying that he was going to have a job. For this, he is beaten even harder than before. He learns now the captain owns him, that he bought him when he acquired his debt. His friend Tulek simply can't handle it. He is only a teenager and is weak, which means he is beaten more frequently. As the captain whips him, Tulek slowly loses his mind. After a particularly bad beating, Tulek gets very sick. He can't walk, and he is allowed to rest. But Tunlin knows things are wrong. Whenever he asks Tulek questions, the boy will only laugh or cry.
Damn.
Soon after, Tulek refuses to work. It is now that he is beaten until he is unconscious and kicked into the sea.
Damn.
Months at sea pass into years. Tunlin adjusts. He never enjoys life on the boat, but he learns it. He becomes good at it. He comes to do every job, sorting the fish, carrying them to the freezer on trays, patching, folding, pressing the net, and looking for rips, and more.
I mean, you better.
This is Tunlin's 2nd year on the boat, out of what will eventually be 14 years at sea. At this
point, they beating people to death and kicking them into the sea. It's like, bro, wild. Like I said, he pulled up for work. He just wanted to go work a decent job, and now he got slavery.
At this point, he's a slave in the only meaningful sense of the word. He cannot leave. He is not paid. He was brought here a prisoner. He was sold in a cash exchange. He works under the threat of violence, and he has seen those who fought back against that violence killed. His best friend on the boat, the only person he knew before boarding, was slowly driven mad and eventually he was killed too.
Damn.
Although they don't get a lot of sleep, this is where they sleep. Tun Lin shares a crawl space with Tulek and the rest of the crew before Tulek dies.
Oh, wow.
Some closer to indentured servants, some free men who signed off on their own volition, some who enforced the captain's orders, many in more than one role depending on the precise time you look, all sleeping together in a space less than a meter high. To get to the bed, they crawl on their hands and knees for about 12 feet into the darkness through an opening that can fit at most one person at a time. This is where Tu Lin sleeps when not working his 20-hour days. When I visit a similar sleeping hole on the Thai docks, the opening comes up just above my knee, and it is warm, exhaling the dark, yeasty manure smell of the unwashed human body. Tun Lin and all the rest of these workers are working in the fishing industry, pulling up all sorts of fish. But the waters of Thailand were getting overfished. And as they got overfished, more and more of that Thai fishing industry was actually based on the trash fish, the small fish, the guts, the things that actually can't sell as fish, but instead become fish meal. And they never actually go back to port. They stay out at sea for years at a time, and they get other boats to come and resupply them and take their catch into port for them. And this describes how fishers like Tun Lin never see these small, unsaleable fish make it to port. They are passed to a sister boat at a rendezvous at sea.
Oh, wait, why would they bring you to port? You're just going to run away like any logical person would. It's like, what? They want you to be a slave on the boat.
Traded along with food, cigarettes.
What the hell are you going to do? Jump into the ocean?
Thai baht and fuel. This is called transshipment at sea. It saves fuel for the larger refrigerated fishing vessels, and it allows some boats to stay out almost indefinitely, resupplied by others. They turn into floating prisons for trafficked workers. So once all of this trash fish makes it into port after being out in the sun on a boat all day, then it gets rolled into the docks where it gets dumped out onto the ground into the sun all day to rot. But within a day, a man with a rake and wearing dark rubber boots will push this pile of fish and fish pieces towards a growling mouth in the cement docks. It looks like a hole in the ground with two grinders in it for teeth, and it takes the rotting fish and pulverizes them further. The scent near the hole is deafening. If you really want to know what you're feeding your pets when it says fish on the label, this is what it is. It is the smell of thousands of tiny rotting fish piled ankle high in the 90-degree Thai sun on a space that has held ankle high levels of tiny rotting fish for years. It is a hot smell, not just from the climate and the decomposition, but because there are furnaces just beyond. You can see them glowing behind the man with the rake. The pulverized fish will pass on a conveyor belt toward those furnaces, getting cooked into a paste, then baked into meal.
What did he say? Well, I mean, at least I wasn't one of those kids who actually was eating that stuff.
This will then be sold to yet another broker, bought by a feed mill, and blended with inputs from dozens of other facilities, all to create the protein base in pet food, food for fish farms, and the feed for hungry little shrimp. But that is just the industry responsible for making shrimp food, as well as cat and dog food. The rest of the shrimp supply chain is brutal too. For example, here's another story from the shrimp industry. Every morning at 2 a.m., they heard a kick on the door and a threat: get up or get beaten. For the next 16 hours, number 31 and his wife stood in the factory with their aching hands in ice water. They ripped the guts, heads, and tails and shells off of shrimp bound for overseas markets, including grocery stores and all-you-can-eat buffets across in the U.S. After being sold to the gig peeling factory, the couple were at the mercy of their Thai bosses, trapped with nearly 100 other Burmese migrants, children, including a girl so tiny she had to stand on a stool to reach the peeling table. Some had been there for months, even years, getting little or no pay. At all times, someone was watching. Benjamin Lohr points out that this issue is multifaceted and ultimately...
I mean, I guess you can make a lot off, shrimp. If you got slave workers and child labor, yeah, you can make a lot of great profits off shrimp.
It stems from the modern world's globalized, insatiable demand for more.
I mean, damn, it's like slavery back in the day. I mean, yeah, slavery made people a lot of money. Why? Because it's free labor, which means that's a huge cut in overhead costs. I mean, no, let me not take it down there. No, F it. If you own the business, and, a large part of your business is payroll. I mean, if you didn't have to pay payroll, I mean, let's be real. Now, I do not condone slavery, but, just making the point.
Cheaper. It's a trend that permeates every aspect of our modern brand of consumerism, and there's no easy fix. Because when Thailand was exposed, new standards were imposed, and the Thai shrimping industry collapsed, only to move to countries like India and Vietnam. And now Thailand is at it again. News misses this crucial distinction that the slavery never ended. It just moved into a new shadow somewhere else where American and Western consumers could shield their eyes from it and pretend that it wasn't happening. Thailand is now proposing repealing the legal standards that had previously cracked down on shrimp slavery and forced business abroad. The Thai government has been insistent that trade would not be affected by new guidelines, stressing that the EU, with whom it currently is negotiating a free trade agreement, makes up only around 6% of seafood exports. These practices go wherever the shrimp industry goes. And lately, that's been India, because right now, India is our largest supplier. It's no coincidence that Sustainability Incubator found wages to be the lowest on average in India and the prices the cheapest. Who knows what's happening in Ecuador? The market will find the cheapest supply wherever it can be produced. And that will always be a race to the bottom, and the bottom will always be slavery.
Yep.
India became America's leading shrimp supplier, accounting for about 40% of the shrimp consumed in the U.S.
I'm weak. Damn it, guys. We might need a global minimum wage. Yeah, I know, right? We might need a global minimum wage at this point.
In part because media reports, including the AP investigation that exposed modern-day slavery in Thailand.
I mean, what you mean? It's like, if we had a global minimum wage, you could see the poor little Asian girl who's working, be like, oh, wait, you work? Wait, for who? All right, bet. We're about to go lock his ass up. It's a wrap. It's like, it'd be that easy. Global minimum wage. How would you enact that? Man, I have no idea.
And their seafood industry. AP's 2015 reporting led to the freedom of some 2,000 enslaved fishermen and prompted calls for bans of Thai shrimp, which had been dominating the market. But unfortunately, that just moved it to India. Stories from India sound like this. She said she works in brutal conditions, peeling, cutting, and grading shrimp in a factory for less than $4 a day, which is $2 less than minimum wage. The working conditions are tough, she said, wiping away tears with the corner of her red sari. Standing for long hours in the cold while peeling and cutting shrimp takes a toll on my body. Yeah. This woman is a 51-year-old widow, by the way.
Oh.
Baby, her last name, and other workers said they pay recruiters about 25 cents a day out of their salaries just to set foot inside the processing shed. Transportation in company buses is also deducted from some workers' salaries, along with the cost of lunch from company canteens. Many workers have no contracts and no recourse if they are hurt on the job. Another peeler said she suffers back pain all the time from the arduous work, for which she's paid about $3 a day. Some have nail fungus caused by small cracks that allow germs to cause infections. Other women have fingers or even their entire hands darkening with frostbite.
Damn, is that cold? I got women in there cold. Yep. I mean, yeah, I hate to hear this. I mean, god damn it, bro. Like, well, where's the FBI? Open up, man. When you need them.
Said that sometimes she has to amputate. AP journalists observed dozens of women working in unsanitary and dangerous conditions. The shrimp pulled from outdoor ponds in barrels were swished around by hand in grimy water. Once rinsed, they were dumped onto ice-covered tables where women stood peeling them one shrimp at a time. Many handled shrimp with bare hands. Some women had bandages on injured fingers. Some women's long hair dangled into the shrimp. And you kind of expect that kind of conditions maybe in, third world countries processing your food like India or Thailand. But the point of this is that Nikanti, the company that they were apparently peeling shrimp for, they present a very different image. In the bottom section here, a marketing video produced by Nikanti, which is projecting $150 million in revenues this year, shows shrimp peelers in a spotless room with shiny tables and workers wearing gloves, head coverings, face masks, rubber boots, and waterproof aprons. By the way, Nikanti is a subsidiary of guess who? Thai Union Group. They, of course, denied the allegations, said the company had nothing to do with the peeling shed that AP had visited, and said that their branded truck was there only because it was being leased to another company. He provided a document that said that Nikanti was paid $3,600 for the 4-month lease of a truck with a license plate number the AP observed. Sure, that document is A-okay, but you have to imagine what's going on out there when that's the image they're presenting. And the actual conditions in these countries are like the stories that you're hearing. And I just wanted to give you a little image, a little visual of where all the shrimp in the world is coming from right now. But just to be clear, the shrimp industry works the way that the shrimp industry works. And if you want to sell shrimp for the prices that these countries are selling shrimp for, you have to compete with countries that are using slave labor. So
And that's why we got tariffs. And that is why we have tariffs to protect our domestic industry from these, low income picked shrimp.
Your bottomless
slave wage or slavery picked
shrimp is another man's or child slave laborers' bottomless despair.
God damn it.
This year in 2025, New Orleans hosted the Super Bowl. And someone,
and man, I know, guys, we all just wanted some shrimp. That's all we wanted.
Had the bright idea of going there and doing a little testy on the shrimp that they were selling in New Orleans and other Gulf Coast cities. Turns out, everyone lies. The testing was done by S.E.T Consulting, made possible by a new testing technology that could turn results around in less than an hour instead of sending to labs and taking days. And what did those test results show? Well, the cities with the highest shrimp fraud rate were Tampa Bay and St. Petersburg, Florida, at 96%. According to S.E.T Consulting, only 2 of the 44 restaurants sampled were serving authentic shrimp from the Gulf of Mexico, a study found. In Baton Rouge, researchers sampled menu items at 24 restaurants and found nearly 30%, more than 1 in 4, were misrepresented. Family-owned shrimp business operating out of the port of Tampa are struggling to survive while local restaurants bamboozle customers into thinking locally caught shrimp are being served. Family-owned and American businesses are the ones bearing the brunt of our desire for the most, the best, and also somehow the cheapest. America and the Western world has this obsession with optics and ethics. We want to feel good about the products we're buying. We want to be absolved of our sins, but ignorance is not bliss. And many, not all, but
I don't know, man. Some of these Dems they're not even ignorant. What you mean? They know China got child labor, slave labor, and they know China also got, I would say, lack of human rights and lack of sanitary policies in their workplace. And they still want the cheap goods, and they still wanted America to fail. Why? Because they just wanted their cheap goods from China. Knowing all the human rights violations that go down, knowing this, and they still wanted America to fail. They wanted us to lose to the guys who put their people in slavery.
Many of these marks that are here to tell us that we're making ethical choices are essentially made up stickers and rackets. Inspections are often half-baked, audits ineffective, loopholes are pretty much endless. This is another thing that Lore covers extensively and with great nuance in his book. It's a pretty rough story when you really get into it, and these types of stories are all over the place. You can't pay attention to everything, and you can't be ethical with every decision. You'll get decision paralysis. You'll never buy anything. You'll never eat anything. But it is important to think about where your stuff is coming from, who's responsible for it, and what are the costs of low costs down the line.
We've got trade wars, inflation, global chaos, and a skyrocket.
Man, I mean, you know what? I think that's a good spot to leave off on, guys, because it's about that time. So you know what time it is.